Welcome back to the Test Podcast. Hi, I'm your co-host. Well, we're just going to start.
No, we're keeping it.
We're keeping it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck it.
Are you kidding me? I'm not going to make you edit.
Oh, I don't want to edit.
Right. Continue. Who are you?
I'm Adam.
Yeah, and I'm Robert. And this is
10 Tenths Podcasting.
Slip Dangle.
We're off to a great start.
I'm so tired,
Oh, my
Robbie.
gosh.
I'm so tired, Robbie.
Apparently, I shouldn't mow the lawn before I do a podcast. My
couldn't-
eyes are itchy. I'm tired.
I couldn't tell you the last time I mowed my lawn.
It's been a while.
It's so good.
But it did rain.
No. Like, I'd pay somebody to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Well, dude, my lawn's like
$11.
50 by 50. Like, it costs me more to maintain my mower than it does for me to pay this guy.
I get it, I guess.
And he sprays it twice a year.
Well, that's nice.
Which is two more times than I was going to do.
Yep. I spray for bugs.
And he bags it, so I have way less leaf clutter,
That's nice, too.
which is pretty fucking sweet.
I don't have any of that.
And it cost me like literally $12 a week. And he doesn't charge me on weeks he doesn't mow.
Yeah.
And he only mows when he needs it.
And
He's not one of those guys that shows up in the end of July when we've gone 3 weeks without rain and it's been 112 every day and be like, yep, mowing your lawn today. And like, there's not even grass coming out from underneath the lawnmower because he's running the deck all the way up, but charges me for it. He's not that guy.
That's nice. No, but I think I went almost all of. I think I went 4 weeks.
Yeah, probably.
And then I did it, and I didn't really need it. And then
We've been getting some rain here lately, though.
So it rained quite a bit. So it'd been a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
They needed it. It was kind of long.
I for sure would not mow all of your lawn if it was my lawn.
I mowed all of it. I didn't go out with a weed eater though.
I would let some of it become prairie land for sure.
That's what my neighbors do, and I think it's because they get tax breaks from the government.
Yeah, we used to when we lived in Oklahoma. The place we lived in Oklahoma was, I don't know, 12 acres or whatever. It's huge, right?
Yeah.
And we mowed like some of the path down the driveway and then like an area in front of the house, and that was about it. And the rest of it was protected wild grassland or some shit.
I just mow mine so that it's like a golf course, so that if I ever want to have like all my friends over to do a car show, it's just ready to go. Yeah, I don't have friends over.
People across the street need to do a better job of mowing.
The house is for sale?
Oh, is that empty?
Yeah.
Oh, it's clear. Well, obvious.
First it was rented, so they never mowed it.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then now they moved out, and now it's for sale, so it's still not mowed.
It's been that way for a while, hasn't it?
It's because they want like $1 billion for it.
That's probably not far off, actually.
Well, it's only worth like $750 million, but they're asking a full $1 billion. So I was like, I'm not paying that. So now the price is outrageous. That's why it's not selling, because they're asking.
It's got to be, because this is kind of
it's
the
not
market.
Yeah, and it's not. The house is not as nice as mine.
No, it doesn't look like it.
And I've seen inside.
It looks older and it looks
cheaperly made.
Yeah, not as well built.
So when I bought this house, its market value was, I don't know, we'll say like $50,000 more than that one or whatever.
Oh, okay.
And then now they're asking like $200,000 more than what this would sell for. So of course it's not selling.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. So I mean it's an outrageous price.
Why would they just sit on it like that?
I don't know.
Like, it's got to be costing somebody money.
Yeah. I don't know if they're waiting for someone to like make an offer and just accept whatever it is, but yeah, it's really weird. Yeah, the price is outrageous because they're asking the same price as what like the beautiful house on the corner was selling for.
Yeah, because there's some sweet houses down the street here a little ways.
Yeah, right on the corner. There's a house that's got like a 4-stall garage and like this huge deck, and it's got like actual sand on the little beach area.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's like a 4-acre lot. I mean, it's a proper $750 million house.
Yeah,
It's very nice, like inside and out. Everything about it's nice.
somebody is listening to this podcast going, "That's worth way more than $750 million."
That house?
Like,
in
their market.
Oh yeah, no, in Iowa.
Yeah.
What I'm describing
In
to
Iowa,
you is it's a $750 million house.
In Los Angeles, that's like $10 million.
Yes. No, down 3 miles of gravel in Iowa.
Right.
Now we're starting to paint a better picture here. Sitting on a lake that's covered in like animal feces or pond.
It's a lake, Robbie. Google even says it's a lake.
It's the time of year where it's just gross.
If you zoom in a little bit,
gross.
there's a lake, a name on it on Google Maps.
Walnut Cove.
You're giving away more than I was giving away, Robbie.
Fuck it. I'm an open book. Hey.
Oh, I forgot to bring my
I got an opener.
soda.
I got an opener. But the problem is it's only an opener for me.
I'm okay with that.
Because I think my dad is taking out some past aggressions.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
So he knows you're not going to eat this.
I see the milk, and now these things are coming together.
Yeah,
I just thought you had a glass of milk here.
No. My dad went to. He was out at the cabin because my dad has a cabin. And he's
like the Black Hills area, right? That'd be so cool.
By Spearfish. I've been there once. It's nice. I don't know where he was. I think he was out like on his.
Let me see this.
Yeah,
this is.
I'll preface it. But yeah, he does like an annual Harley trip where he catches the tail end of like Sturgis like after it's all died down.
Everything's calmed down a little bit.
So like they'll go out and just ride into like Wyoming and shit.
Right.
And then they're not really part of Sturgis at all. But
right.
It's their annual bike trip. And so he stopped at this place called the Beef Jerky Experience. Yes. And I'm like, that sounds like an experience. Because that's basically where I went when I bought... That
sounds amazing.
When I bought the shark jerky and the kangaroo jerky. I would spend
so much money I would probably come to regret.
It's so expensive.
Beef jerky is absurdly expensive.
I'll bet this little tiny bag, which has, I don't know, how many ounces?
Not much.
Half an ounce. I bet it was like $10. Yeah, so like... I think the Beef Jerky Experience or something like that in the Dells is where I bought that shit that we sent to the radio podcast guys.
Right.
It was shark jerky and kangaroo and...
Did we send them... When we got octopus, right? Didn't Jake send us octopus?
I can't remember now.
Jerky?
I've had kangaroo, and that was the weirdest tasting stuff I've ever had.
Oh, really?
Just weird. But back to this. So he bought two things.
Uh-huh.
One was like a honey turkey... oven roasted jerky, which was fine. I guess
that sounds fine.
Yeah, I mean it's
turkey jerky.
Turkey jerky's better.
I don't know that
it's better than bacon. Bacon jerky sounds great on paper.
It's not that.
It's not great.
You know what else is not great? Turkey bacon.
Yes,
because it's better for Katie.
Yeah,
but I don't buy it very often.
No, I get that. No, if it's not like crispy, thick bacon,
right?
Don't even bother. I don't want it. I want it to be like Christmas ham thick.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with that.
I need to make some candied bacon again. But so he's at the Beef Jerky Experience and he sends me a Snapchat and I'm like, well, that sounds like an experience. And then in the mail,
your dad sent you a Snapchat?
Yeah, we have like a family group Snapchat.
That's adorable.
Yeah, it is. It's like how we stay in contact.
We have a Facebook group.
Family Facebook group. Ours is Snapchat. And then there's my brother is starting his residency because he's a doctor because
like of course 6 times over at this point.
Of course he is. It's just he always has to. He's that child.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If you can't see it on the YouTube video, my hand's way high.
Yeah.
He's the child, the golden child,
right?
And then I'm not so much.
I mean, you're doing all right for yourself.
I know, but I'm not a doctor.
But you like never even talk about your sister, so
exactly because she's doing so good. She's a psychologist.
Oh, she's a psychologist?
No, she's got a psychology degree. I actually don't know what she does for a job.
Oh.
Hopefully. Helping people. She's not selfish like myself.
I mean, you're helping people stay in flight. That's...
Every time a plane goes down, I panic.
That's a noble...
Just so we're perfectly clear, if I ever pull up the news and there's funny. Flight whatever crashed into the ocean, I read that intently going, what was the cause of the failure?
We don't have any parts of that plane.
Please, for the love of God, please, for the love of God, don't be the fuel nozzle. Don't be the fuel nozzle.
I saw an FAA investigation mobile today. It said FAA investigator on the side of it.
Oh, they weren't auditing us today.
And it was like a Ford Transit with government plates. It wasn't some bullshit thing.
Oh no! When the FAA comes and audits, it's a big one.
Driving down the interstate.
I mean, they used to do it like all the time. Obviously, COVID kind of changed it a little bit.
Yeah.
No. FAA audits are not uncommon, which is good.
It said investigator. I assumed it was like a plane crash investigator.
I'm sure that's part of his job.
That'd be a cool job. I mean, like not a cool job, but like a cool job, you know.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
like a detective,
like
or,
crime scene investigator would be a cool job, but like not a cool job.
Yeah, like working in the ER. Interesting, while tragic.
Yeah, I think I'd take crime scene investigator over ER.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's like a cop every time.
At least they're dead then.
Yeah,
already.
Usually, I don't know. Like with a cop, you're always like. That's got to be a shitty job because
it's going to be the worst.
Every time you're dealing with somebody, it's literally their worst fucking day of their life.
Probably. I mean, not every time, but like an overwhelming majority of it, yeah.
It's crisis all the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I can't imagine.
But anyways, so he sent me the turkey jerky, which is fine, I guess. But then he sent me this, and he knows you won't eat it because you don't eat spicy things.
Nope.
I eat some spicy things. This is called Armageddon beef jerky. It has a heat rating of 10.
Oh, it does?
10 plus.
10 plus. Oh.
I don't know what the scale is.
Probably 10.
10.
I mean, I was hoping it had a Scoville rating. I was going to look it up.
Fuck, it does. It
does? Oh.
No. Heat rating. Rated from 0, no heat, to 10, very hot.
Okay.
This is fucking ghost pepper shit, man.
I probably don't even want to smell
Oh, it is. What an asshole. My dad. Ingredients.
That makes me so happy.
Beef.
Yeah. Well,
good. Brown sugar.
Oh, delicious.
We're off to a good start. We're off to a good start. Tamari sauce.
I don't know what that is.
Probably like a soy sauce, I would imagine.
I don't know.
It's made of water and soybeans and salt and sugar, so yeah, like a soy sauce.
Okay.
And here's where it gets fun. Carolina Reaper. Trinidad Scorpion pepper powder. Cayenne. Habaneros. Oh, here we pineapple sauce. Well, that's good.
Oh, but doesn't sweet almost make heat worse?
Probably.
You sure you don't want...
This isn't going to be enough milk.
What if you want to close... Should we close this?
No.
I need you to be able to function.
If the podcast goes off the rails, it's my dad's fault. All right, here, hold on. I'm going to open it. You know, this is probably one of those, like...
Don't rub your eyes when you're done.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I might have to go wash my hands. I'll for sure rub my eyes because I just mowed the lawn.
I'm telling you, man, like, maybe we should...
We're going to get, like, jalapeno dick.
What if you finished this? Oh, no.
Chopping jalapenos and you go to the bathroom and then forget. All right, this is going to be too much.
Just take a nibble.
Yeah, just... It doesn't even smell that bad. That's the problem. It doesn't smell that bad.
Oh, see, that's dangerous. There's no way I'm going to be able to smell. My allergies have almost never been worse in my entire life than they are right now.
All right. Oh, I can see it on my fingers now. I have to go wash my hands.
Oh, it doesn't smell that bad.
No, it doesn't. All right, just this.
Like, I can get my nose way in there.
Yeah.
And I'm a bitch.
Dude, I don't know how... This is going to hurt so bad.
There's like literally pepper flakes on the inside of this bag.
There's pepper flakes literally on this beef.
I don't want to touch this. Right. Like, I've probably been contaminated.
All right. This is... It's about to... I can feel it tingling my fingers.
Nah.
Swear to God.
I'm not touching that shit. Don't even... I'm just going to take your word for it.
All right.
It's not that bad. It doesn't seem... Oh. That face doesn't look so good.
Oh, it's like a wave.
Oh, yeah. That's how they tell it. That's how it's explained to me before, yes.
That's not good at all. Oh, fuck. Oh, man. That was a kick in the dick. Oh, my gosh.
Don't do it.
Woo!
I see you looking at that other piece in your hand.
Oh, that's hot. All right, hold on.
Oh,
I can do it.
Oh, no.
I don't want the whole... I can't do the whole thing. I'll do another little one. Now I'll do a big one. Now I'll do a little one.
I don't think the size matters, Robbie.
That was too much.
Ah! Oh, no. Oh, no.
Woo! Oh, man. Oh, that's hot. The problem is it's going to stay hot for like an hour.
Yeah, that's why I said we should have finished with that, Robbie.
That's
Finish strong.
I'm like sweating. All of me is sweating. I'll be honest. I thought that'd be I thought that would be.
You can't even talk.
Whew, I thought that would be worse.
Worse?
Oh,
Does that help?
No, it doesn't. It just comes right back. Oh, rude. Oh, it just comes back like another wave. Like it doesn't go away. Go away. Oh, too much. Adam, you're in charge.
Oh, no. What do I... Oh, man. He just left me. I don't know what I was supposed to do. I'm the worst at this. I can't be left alone. Well, we're going to talk about Lime Rock. I went to Lime Rock. Had a very different experience than Mr. Jabay, if you listen to that podcast. Here he comes. Oh, my God. Yeah. Take some Kleenexes.
Dude, it just keeps getting worse.
That's what I've heard about those things, is that it's just the worst.
Whew.
And it never stops.
It'll eventually stop. Tomorrow.
Yeah, and then you got to poop it out.
Oh, this is going to hurt tomorrow. Oh, man. We have found my spicy threshold. Oh, man.
That's past the point where it's enjoyable?
Yeah, this is not enjoyable.
I don't understand it. I genuinely do not understand it. I work with people who would find that enjoyable.
They can have it. I won't be eating more of this. Oh, man.
Holy crap.
It just doesn't go away.
I know. So one of the guys I work with grows
Like
Carolina Reapers and ghost peppers and scorpion peppers and shit like that, right? And then he'll bring them in like Ziploc baggies and just leave them on the countertop for anybody to take.
Like no label or nothing?
Well, I think he writes what they are on the bag. I mean, they're whole peppers. So it's not like, oh, this looks like a banana pepper. And just, I mean, they look dangerous.
Yeah.
Because they're shockingly small.
Doesn't take much.
No.
I'm running out of milk real fast here.
A few years ago, one of our guys decided to take one and eat it. Like, just whole. Just eat the pepper.
Just take a bite out of it.
No, like, he ate the thing. Like, he took it to the stem, bit it, and chewed it, swallowed it. The whole fucking thing.
That would have hurt for a long time.
Yeah.
Like
and
this one.
So I only saw the video of him doing this because the guy he was with filmed it.
Right.
But
As
they were like not at the shop. They were not at they were just at a job site. Like, you know, splicing coax in a new housing development. And they had to like run to a gas station and he didn't cut the video the whole time. It's like a 10-minute, 12-minute video or something like that, right? And the kid's just like literally crying in the passenger seat.
I get that.
Dying.
I'll be honest. I need more milk.
Oh no, he's going upstairs. I mean, I guess I can finish my story. So the kid's like dying and they run into the gas station and he just runs in, grabs the milk out of the cooler and starts drinking it. He doesn't even buy it. Like, I mean, I'm sure he bought it afterwards, but he just drank it. So I wonder if Robbie's dog will come down here. He always hates it when we leave him upstairs. I hear the dog running. He's trying. Nope, I think Robbie got the door closed. And water. I don't think water's helpful.
That's fine.
I don't think water's that helpful. You should have just brought the milk jug.
I think we're okay.
Are you sure?
Slowing down. And we're back. We can start the show now. Man.
Should we talk about my trip to Lime Rock?
Yes, please. This opener was presented by Factor Fabrication.
I wonder how Booney feels about that kind of stuff.
Loves it.
Like super spicy?
I have no idea.
I would assume that that's too far for him. Like that'll burn his taste buds. That's no fun.
I think he likes spicy.
But that's dumb.
This is not fun. I'll be honest.
Booney's in Europe?
Hurts. No, he's back.
Oh, he's back?
Yeah, he's back.
Oh, I thought he was still in Europe.
He had a wedding in like Switzerland or something.
Yeah.
So, which is why we didn't go to VIR.
Oh, I just didn't.
because that was this weekend.
I forgot about
So,
that.
Yeah, so
That never crossed my mind, I guess.
no, we were gonna go, and then it was just like he's going to be in Europe for like a whole week, and then he was going to come back, basically jump in Lori and go straight to Virginia, and it's kind of like
Seems
that's not
stupid.
great for your marriage, in all reality,
Or like your sanity or your
your
mental
work.
health.
Yeah,
Or, you know,
so we're like, let's just
got a car to pay for.
let's
and,
just not.
you know,
I'm feeling it in my nose right now.
yeah, you've blown your nose more than I have, which is
It's
a little bit off.
It's moving. I can feel it. It was on my tongue. Now it's in my sinuses.
Can you feel it in your stomach?
Not yet, but I can feel it in my nose now. That's weird. Carolina
Like
Reaper.
the
not
back
fun.
of your throat?
No, it started on my tongue.
Uh-huh.
Went to my back of my throat.
Uh-huh.
Now it's in my nose.
But it's going up. It's not going down.
It's filling the sinuses, all of them. It's gonna feel it in my ears probably.
That's
It's not great. Not great at all.
oh my gosh.
But you know what is great? The quality of work from Factor Fabrication.
I mean,
That is top
it's
notch.
true.
You will not get a better cage or rail or custom furniture than Factor Fabrication.
Or bar backdrop.
Home decor, whatever you need. Bookshelf, fuck it. Whatever you want.
Yeah.
Man. Custom simulator. I don't know if you want to build that. FactorFabrication.com. You know, if people don't like this is my dad's fault. My dad did this.
I like this. This is fun for me because
I'll give you $1,000.
no. Put it on the table. Let's see it. I am it's cash in hand.
I will get cash tomorrow.
No. I don't know that I'd take it.
Yeah. If you don't like spices, man, this is a trip.
I don't know, man. I don't get it.
No, I like spice to like buffalo wings,
Yeah.
and maybe a little bit beyond that, because that had the best way to describe it is because Buffalo Wild Wings, everybody goes there.
Yeah.
So you got the scale, then it goes from like sweet barbecue all the way up to like middle ground is like medium,
Right.
which is still pretty spicy. And then you get like Asian Zing and like
Asian Zing is higher than medium?
yeah,
Really?
yeah, it hits you right in the mouth.
That's why I don't eat
So that's almost like 2/3 up the scale, and then you get into like the ghost peppers and the blazing
The dumb
challenge.
stuff.
Yeah, anything beyond Asian Zing is a no-go for me.
I like pretty much never eat there anymore because their burger quality is
They used to be okay.
in the trash now.
Oh, it used to be pretty good.
Like I would rather eat a McDonald's burger
That's
because it's not really
that's a real
that-
thing, man.
It's not really that much worse, and it's remarkably cheaper.
But even that's not that true anymore.
No,
Spend like $9 on a burger.
dude, it's like impossible for me and Katie and the kids to go. Like I can't even go to McDonald's and not spend more than $20.
oh, it's like 30 at least.
Out of control stupidity.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. But it's not as spicy there. Oh man. This is it's going away. It's going away.
Next time that we do a show that doesn't have an interviewee,
Okay.
because I know we have a couple of those lined
We have
up.
a couple, yeah, nothing's like set in stone.
Right,
yeah.
but we might next time we have a show that doesn't have an interviewee, and I remember
Okay.
I have the world's most sour soda in my fridge
Okay, that's gotta be better than the most.
from that 19,
That sounds good.
which is a prank and gimmick store on the internet.
Probably sell this shit.
They sell like the world's largest gummy worm and like random weird ass shit like that. And their their YouTube channel is actually shockingly entertaining.
What is it? Like just people messing with?
So like they just use their products in ways like they were for a long time they were running this thing called Will It Fondue,
okay.
and they were finding ways to take their edible products and use them in fondue.
Like melt it?
Like they would melt gummy worms and then put it through a fondue thing, and then you'd like eat it with Pocky sticks, which sounds delightful, frankly.
I'd try it.
But then they were doing like ranch and weird shit.
I think ranch would get gross, don't you think?
Yeah, probably. I don't really like ranch that much to begin with. I know it's like the worst. It's the least Midwestern thing about me.
What about mayonnaise?
And mayonnaise. I can't even look at mayonnaise without getting a stomach ache. This stuff's nasty.
I like just a hint. I can't have it slathered. Did I tell you the story about? We're just gonna talk about food this whole episode. I don't care. Forget it.
I don't know that much to talk about.
Long
Lime
show.
Rock, anyways.
Long show. My sister sent me a Snapchat, and it was her boyfriend making a sandwich, and it was
See, I thought this was one of your in-laws for some reason.
well, it's her boyfriend.
Right, but I thought it was one of Jess's.
No, Anna's boyfriend. So
Okay.
it was just I don't know, white bread.
Yeah.
There's beef jerky on the table. Get out of here. Go on the floor. Just get away from me. So it's
Don't let the dog get that.
white bread, and then like ham, and then like equivalent amount of mayo to the ham.
It's out of control and upsetting.
And she's taking a video of it, and she's just like gagging as he's making the sandwich.
It's a totally reasonable and legitimate response to that.
And he was like, that's just how he makes it. And the reason she was making the video of it was just like she watches him do this regularly and can't believe it.
It's so gross.
No, thank you.
I can't.
No, I've got just a hint. Basically, if I order a sandwich at a restaurant, like Subway or Jimmy John's or whatever, and it has mayo on it, but like half. I want half what you would normally put on there.
Right.
I
feel that way about almost all condiments, frankly, because when it's applied for me, they almost always
way too much.
do way too much.
Or not enough. It's never right.
Like my favorite burger joint, Bebop's.
Okay. Well, let's let that one go. Let's let it slide.
Robbie, come on, bro.
I like Bebop's.
It's the best fast food burger joint, and they have been the least affected by this out of control rising pricing.
That is fair. You can still get like $1.
Yeah, they still have 99-cent sloppy Joe sliders.
That's what I was about to say.
Never had one,
They're okay.
but they're 99 cents.
Yeah.
But they have a barbecue bacon cheddar burger,
Yep.
and
Which is funny. That's my least favorite. It's good, but that's actually my least favorite.
That's my jam.
See, I like whatever one that has all the extra shit on.
No way, dude. That's my jam. No pickles, no onions.
Oh, no onions.
But they always put way too much barbecue on, and it's only on half of it every fucking
It
time.
just falls out the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
So the first thing you do is you take the top of the bun and you spin it 180 degrees, and that spreads it out a little better.
Yep.
But it's still, they put way too much on there.
Always.
And then there's always a few bites of that's literally all you taste is the barbecue sauce.
It's bread and barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least they use Sweet Baby Ray's, so it's good barbecue sauce.
It is proper good barbecue sauce.
That's my favorite mass-produced, readily available anywhere barbecue sauce.
Yep.
Like there's better ones that are like Jim Bob down the street makes this for his pit barbecue. Like, yeah, that stuff's better.
Yeah, totally different. But
like for just running into any Walmart or grocery store and buying it in a bottle,
Sweet Baby Ray's
is life.
I can't argue with any
There's
of that.
always a bottle of it in my fridge.
And not uncommon to be at the 10 Dents paddock.
That's true too. Are you gonna live?
I'm fine.
Are you sure?
Yeah, we're going. It's fine. I do this all the time.
And I know is not true.
This is just how I sound. My throat is always this way. It doesn't hurt anymore.
There's so many jokes that can be made about your throat and things. I'm just leaving it.
We're
alone.
above that,
Are
Adam.
we, though?
We're above
Are
that.
we, though?
No,
We're really not.
no. We.
I sent a picture of a traffic
fruit.
cone that said erection on it this week, and you laughed at it.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
You said that to a different group chat.
No, I sent that to our little group chat.
No.
And you reacted to it.
Did I?
Yes, because I tried to send a phrasing,
Oh yeah.
and I sent the wrong one.
Yeah, you screwed it up. I do like our group
It said
chat.
erection on the cone.
Should have stole that and put it in my basement.
So there's a company. There's a couple of companies that do like steel buildings, and they're like Northwest Erection and stuff like that. That's the name of the company.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's great.
That'd be a great T-shirt.
You can buy Klein Tools makes an erection wrench. that those guys use. Like it's basically a wrench on one end and like a not a pry bar, but like what you'd use to shove into holes to line them up, so you can put a bolt in it.
Yeah, so it's like a punch, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
like
on the other
a
side.
dowel.
Yeah,
Someone's
it's tapered.
Someone's screaming at.
Put it through holes.
Yeah, an erection.
Yeah, it's called an erection wrench.
How old are we? 13.
Oh man!
I assume this is how the entire conversation went on your way to Lime Rock.
Well,
So
not
tell-
entirely.
That's a good segue.
Yeah,
Tell
okay.
me about your weekend.
So, James Morgan was bound and determined to get me to Lime Rock,
Yes.
which
He was not taking no for an answer.
at the beginning of the year, that was my intention for our family vacation this year. But then as the summer went on and things kind of evolved, we decided it wasn't really what we wanted to do. We were just going to not do this. Life is really expensive, Robbie.
Yeah.
Things have
Everything is at least 30% more expensive than it was last year.
so expensive. And so we were like, yeah, we're just not. Katie's grandma came to Minnesota and stayed with Katie's mom for a week or so, and so Katie took the kids up there while I was at work, and she got to see her grandma, and so we had fulfilled that need, and so we just decided it wasn't worth the trip, and we backed out on it. But James was not having that. So
That's just a good friend.
I mean, you could say that, and I'm not convinced that's what it is, but
Well, to be fair, last time I referred to him as friend with air quotes, he was offended in our little.
yeah, that's probably true.
So he's your friend.
He's trying to get me to go to, or
There's no trying.
it's probably going to cost me a bunch of money to go to Alpine too, but whatever. Because I screwed that up. So, like literally the week before he texts me and he says, at this point, I want you to go so badly that I'm almost willing to drive to Des Moines and pick you up and then turn around and drive right back.
Which is excessive. That's a
'cause
10-hour addition.
Yeah. Well, to Nevada, it's 6 hours.
Oh,
So it'd
yeah.
be 12 hours addition.
Yikes.
On from my house to Lime Rock is every minute of an 18-hour drive,
Yep.
which is rough.
That's a long drive.
Yes, because I did it in 26 hours, and it was real hard
Yikes.
to manage.
Yeah, that's a lot of drive.
Yeah, it was rough. And so finally I was talking to Katie, and because I knew Katie was not going to be real happy if I decided to go
Yeah.
and just abandon her with the children,
It's fine.
because yeah.
Adult decisions and stuff.
Yeah, so James was like, well, what if they come with? Because he, I had mentioned something about the grandma, or I don't even know. And he's like, well, let's just bring them with and we'll drop them off. I'm like, all right, well, let me run this by her. And so I talked to her a little bit, and I at first she was still pretty apprehensive because,
That's a long drive for two small children.
well, and our children Logan and Kaylee could not be more polar opposite.
Say Logan's been super chill.
Logan is a fantastic car ride kid, and he always has been, even when he was really young.
Yeah. I remember going to Road America.
Yeah, well, in Topeka,
Yeah.
he was 3.
He was young, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he traveled real well.
yeah,
Really well.
yeah, and he always has. And so, but Kaylee, no, she is not a travel baby.
Okay.
She hates it.
Okay.
It's the worst.
So is she like super active? Like
Kind of.
like
No, she's super needy.
okay.
She's a woman.
I didn't say that.
She's super needy. She constantly needs attention. She hates, Logan pretty early on started sleeping all through the night.
Yep,
I can count on one hand the number of times that Kaylee has done that.
Oh jeez.
It's the worst. Logan, still to this day, is probably one of the pickiest eaters I've ever encountered.
Yeah.
Kaylee will eat literally anything you put in front of her, whether she's supposed to or not.
Okay.
Since she has to be around us all the time because
Yeah.
she's super needy, we'll have her like on the floor in the kitchen while we're cooking, right? And I'll feed the dog, and then
Oh,
2 seconds later, I'll turn around. The kid's got 2 fistfuls of dog food, and she's just going to town on it. Like, fuck. So, yeah. So she's not a good travel baby.
Okay.
And so Katie was still pretty apprehensive about the whole idea. Either way, but
right.
one of Katie's cousins has a couple of daughters, and one of them and Katie are pretty close.
Yep.
She's like 16 maybe, and they're pretty close. And so Katie really wanted to go and see her and see all the other people that she didn't get to see because they didn't come to Minnesota. And so ultimately her hesitation didn't win, and we ended up going. So
Right.
what we did was I took off Thursday and Friday of the week for Lime Rock. So Lime Rock was a Friday, Saturday event.
Yep.
And then I did not take the following Monday off.
Well, you didn't need to because you came back Sunday.
Right. I should have.
So how did it go?
So the Wednesday night I get off of work and we drive all the way to Chicago, and I stayed in a hotel. I asked Adam and James together. I was like, so where do I stay? So I need a family-friendly hotel that minimizes my chances of being shot and killed,
Chinatown.
which I realize is a big ask in Chicago.
Yes.
But we managed to do it.
You survived.
Yes, there was
Living-
only one broken down vehicle in the parking lot.
Well, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I
You're in a
felt
good
like
neighborhood.
yeah.
There's only one broken
Yeah.
down car.
Yeah.
Did it have all its wheels?
Yes.
Oh, then you're in a
But
great
they weren't all
neighborhood.
on it.
Oh, that's
And
just
it was
mid.
like a mid 2000s diesel Silverado 3/4 ton.
Oh, so that's a work truck. Yeah.
Right, like Josh's
Yeah.
generation. With the top half of the engine tore apart.
Okay, now we're getting into a little less of a good neighborhood.
Like I think they were mid injector swap on it, because I think that's a thing on those trucks.
Yeah, probably.
I think that's what it was. I don't know.
Yeah, I remember Josh talking about some.
I think he was saying injectors. I don't remember. I just know the top half of that engine was tore apart and the hood was in the bed.
Okay.
And the front wheels were not on it, but they were underneath it.
Okay.
And it was on a jack stand and the jack.
Okay.
So like it was
Halfway there.
quality Chicago stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we got to the hotel at 1:00 in the morning.
Great check-in time.
It's the best, especially with 2 small children.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And so that hotel was just like 6 minutes from James's house.
That's good.
So I told James that we were going to be at his house between 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning, which left me with pretty minimal amount of time for sleeping.
Yeah, I was going to say, how'd that work out? Because I know you.
We made it.
No.
We were there a
showed
little
up-
before 7.
You showed up at his place at 7 a.m.?
A little before.
Man, I remember going to Alpine with you before.
I only had a 6-minute drive there, Robbie. And while I didn't get much sleep, I still got more sleep than I did the week before Alpine. We'll see if I make my flight next week. Anyway, so then so I have my van, my 7-passenger 3-row minivan,
Yep.
and James has a CRV,
That's not a tiny car.
but it only has 2 rows.
Yep.
It's been lifted 2 inches, which is a little weird.
Really?
It's enough that you look at it and you're like, something different about it, but not enough that you're like,
That's clearly lifted.
it's clearly been lifted. And it still has stock wheels. I think the tires maybe have a little more sidewall to them, but it's stock wheels. And it's
So it's
been
just-
lifted 2 inches. And so it just
he
kind
lift it?
Yes.
For why?
Because he's James Morgan.
Because someone just like, hey, I got this lift kit. He's like, yeah, I'll take that.
I don't know, man.
There's got to be a story.
We'd have to ask him.
Okay.
Have him on the show sometime.
We'll see.
Maybe. Strong maybe.
The strong maybe.
So we decided that we were going to take the CRV and not the Fit or the minivan.
So you had 3 people in the back of the
But I
back
told
seat.
James that like I don't totally trust my minivan.
You trusted it to get to Chicago.
Yeah, but I don't know if I trust it to get us to Lime Rock and back.
No, it's fine. I've driven That's like your Focus, man. Or my Focus now. That's just I would drive that anywhere.
Yeah, and that left me stranded on the side of the road when it was negative 15, Robbie.
But the Mini Cooper did that to me.
Yeah, but it wasn't negative 15.
It was 115.
I mean, I'd rather be stranded in that.
That's fair.
It's less likely to kill you.
True.
Anyway, so we piled into the CRV, which was a bit of a fit.
Yeah, I bet.
So we've learned that if Katie sits in the back seat with Kaylee, she's less cranky.
Yeah.
So Katie does that like almost all the time anyway.
Which would make sense.
But in the minivan, she still sits in the middle of the back seat. Like she doesn't sit in the third row.
Okay.
She just sits between Logan and Kaylee.
Do you have like a proper 3-row?
Yeah.
Like you don't have 2 buckets in the back?
No.
Oh.
No, it's a proper 3-row.
Okay, I was picturing 2
It's
buckets.
a full 7-passenger minivan.
Gotcha.
Pretty easily. Like
You mean 8?
no, 2
3.
in the Oh yeah, 8.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. The middle of the front is not what I would call comfortable,
I believe that.
but there's a seatbelt there for it.
Oh, then it's legal.
Yeah. The middle of the back is more comfortable because it's a full-fledged chair.
Yeah, it's wider.
Whereas the middle of the front is designed to fold down underneath the...
Oh, yeah, the stow and go?
Not as much as my Caravan did, but it
Okay.
does have some of that, and it's designed to fold all the way down so that you
Okay.
can pass between them.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Okay.
but we didn't take the minivan.
No, we took the HRV.
And when we got back to James's house, which is a whole different story, but I'm going to tell this part because it's kind of funny. Jabez's parents were sitting on. So James lives next door to Adam's parents.
Yes.
In one of Adam's parents' rental houses.
Okay.
And they were sitting on the front porch of their house when we got back, and just like the most adorable elderly couple ever.
Just sitting on the porch,
Just
watching,
sitting on the porch,
watching life
just
go by.
watching the world on a Sunday afternoon. Just
sounds relaxing.
Just enjoying life, right?
Yep.
And they were, and we all start on. Like I got out of the CRV, Katie gets out of the CRV, and they're like, oh, hi, and like, oh, are you Adam? Like, yep, that's me. They're like, oh yeah, we
heard.
blah blah blah. And then like I pull my children out of the back, and they're like, well, why didn't you just take the why didn't you just take the minivan? Like, I don't really trust it. They're like, well, you trust it to get to Chicago? Like, yeah, but that's not Lime Rock.
See, they have the same thought.
Yeah, well,
You'd be fine.
probably would have.
Yeah. You should have done it for the content.
I didn't need more content. This
I think you did.
like I probably could have used more content. 'Cause frankly, I don't have a whole lot to say about the event, honestly.
That's because you didn't get to see it.
Right, but I was so tired.
I can see that.
So I got like 5 hours of sleep Wednesday night, and then
I assume you drove the whole time.
no, James drove most.
No. To get to Chicago.
Oh, clearly, I wouldn't let Katie drive. She terrifies me.
Hey, you wouldn't sleep anyways.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Fair
Yeah.
enough.
And so we all pile in the CRV. Rear-facing baby seats take up an obnoxious amount of room.
Oh yeah.
So I had to have the passenger seat slid way forward so that the baby seat would fit behind me.
Okay.
And James was like, well, I guess I'm driving the whole way because I'm not sitting there. Like, all right, sorry, man. So we get in the CRV, and James had a coworker of his that followed us in his CRV the whole way there.
Okay.
His name was Ray. We ruined his life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so he's been to a Gridlife before, but not with us, not with a Gridlife regulars.
So he just on his own went to like a
right.
Gingerman?
He had been to a Midwest festival before with some friends.
Okay.
Before he worked wherever it is that James works,
Okay.
and now he works with James, and he's like, and James is like, oh well, yeah, you've experienced, but you haven't really experienced it, right? Like it's a different.
You've been there, but you're not in.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a different experience. And so he talked him into going to Lime Rock because apparently he has some family that live in like Philly or something like that. So he stopped on his way home and visited his family or something. I don't know. So Ray followed us there. Relatively uneventful there, but
Yeah.
on the way there, like we stopped in one of those Indiana or Ohio roadside places where they have Sbarros.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The rest area places on the turnpike.
Oh, yeah, okay.
where the only thing you can eat is the Burger King,
Yep.
the Sbarro pizza, and then there's like an Auntie Anne's soft pretzel place and a
Right.
Starbucks. Those are your options.
Yep.
All of them.
Yep.
There's 6 of them across the state or whatever, and there's one on each side of the road, and they're all the exact same thing.
Copy paste.
Yeah.
Yep.
So apparently James really enjoys, like, that's
His jam.
a guilty pleasure. Sbarro pizza.
Is it good?
It's like, I'm sure you've had it before. It's
Where would I have had it?
there's one in Jordan Creek. It's a mall pizza joint.
I can promise you I've never had pizza mall or mall pizza.
I mean, it's not bad pizza.
If I'm at the mall, there are like 8 things I would eat before pizza.
You should try it sometime.
Okay.
It's not the worst pizza. in
But
the
you
world.
said that to me about Little Caesars. I still haven't done that.
Well, Little Caesars, okay. I thought you were going to bring up the CC's thing again. I was going to say, Robbie, you wanted a cheap place to eat. You didn't specify that it needed to be delicious.
Have we
You
talked
said
about that?
cheap.
Have we talked about that?
Yes.
Oh my god!
Like a long time ago.
Oh man,
But dude, it's a $5 buffet. It's not going to be good pizza. It's going to be $5 buffet pizza. What do you fucking want from me?
you sold it hard too.
I
man.
don't hate the place.
You were like, no, man, seriously, we don't have a lot of money. Let's just go to CC's. It'll be a $5 buffet. Sure, pizza. Can't go wrong. The CC's in Detroit or Royal Oak, Michigan is not.
It was a $5 pizza.
It's not great.
Buffet. What do you want from me? It's fine, Robbie. It's perfectly adequate $5 buffet.
It was fine. I was in college. It worked out.
It was an adequate $5 buffet.
I survived.
You've eaten worse, probably.
Today,
Yeah, see? Didn't cry about it, at least.
I didn't cry.
Everyone's a critic. Anyway, so when we stopped at the first one, we started talking to Ray a little bit about what he could experience. And, like, James is selling this shenanigan level that I apparently get myself into at every event.
He's not wrong. It seems to find.
But I was like, James, like, you're selling this kid real hard. We're not going to get into any shenanigans. You know that, right? Like, you're selling him real hard.
But you did though.
I mean, not really.
Not Midwest Festival shenanigans.
Oh gosh, no. So he had James listen to, or he had Ray listen to the Midwest Festival recap from this year
Yep.
with the unit
Yep.
and the world's fastest Canadian.
Great episode, by the way.
And he had him listen to the show that we recorded in Abe's bus at Mid-Ohio 2 years ago with Tommy,
Oh God, yeah.
the day after the well-armed Ohioans.
That was a time.
Yeah, so that he could kind of get a feel for this level of shenanigans that we could achieve. But, like, I knew coming into this we weren't gonna achieve.
No, those ones are peak.
Well, and
it
then
probably wasn't going to happen.
and then, like, I realize that I'm involved in these shenanigans, but I'm not the purveyor of them.
you're
I'm
just
not
there. You're
I'm
not
the
catalyst.
cause,
Yeah.
right? Like, I go along with it. I'm not going to stop.
No.
It'd be rude of me to stop it.
Both for the content as well as the people involved.
What I love now is that people, my friends, when we're not even there, say that they do. That is their reason for doing things.
Yeah, for the content.
When they know it's a bad idea, well, let's just do it for the content. Like, we're not even there, guys. Like, you don't.
I do want to hear about it.
Yeah, I guess whatever it takes to just let you sleep at night.
Just
I guess.
justify it. I don't care
Right.
how.
It's fine. I say it at work sometimes and nobody gets it.
Same. Well, a couple people get it, but
Yeah. So anyway, but I'm telling James, I'm like, dude, you're hyping this up, and we could get into some level of shenanigan, sure.
yeah,
But, like, it's not going to be armed Ohioan shenanigans.
it's not going to be 10 on a 10 scale
No, it's going to be a solid 7 at best.
at best.
Right. It's going to be Asian zing, not ghost pepper
Yep.
at best.
Yeah, it'll be a little spicy.
Like, we're missing key players to the shenanigans.
Yeah.
No Dalton, no Tommy,
No Matt.
no Matt.
Matt was there.
Matt sneak attacked us.
Yep. I forgot.
Yeah, so whatever, it didn't matter. So we get there. Katie's Katie's grandma lives in a very small town in the Appalachian Mountains of Pennsylvania, in the coal mining mountains,
Yeah,
right?
Silent Hill.
Right. The town that Silent Hill is based off of, the town that has the fire underneath it, is not that far away, like less than 2 hours from Katie's grandma's house.
Okay.
It's not that far away.
Right.
And so I preface this to James that, like, this is going to be a bit of an experience for you as a city boy.
Yeah.
This is going to be a culture shock in a way you're not understanding.
Is James well-traveled? He seems like he'd be well-traveled.
I think he might be semi-well-traveled, but like...
but he's not he's not going to places like Northwest Iowa, Central Pennsylvania.
Right. He's not going to Kylertown, Pennsylvania or anything like that. Like, and, you know, as non-political as I can make this,
Yeah.
Sometimes there's reasons he can't necessarily go to those places.
Do I just say it?
He's a black guy. It's fine.
He's a black guy in a very red state. How about that?
Well, there was a flag across the street that said, I didn't vote for him, and then something about Trump underneath it.
Yeah, of course.
So, I mean, that's where we're at. That's fine. Whatever.
Sure.
To each their own. Doesn't matter. I don't want to get into that.
No, that's not where
but
we're going.
I did ask Katie, like, is that going to be a problem? She's like, well, I mean, it'd be a bigger problem if he was gay, but he's black, so that's probably because her family is like
very
devoutly
anti that stuff.
Right. When we were going home, I left Lime Rock Saturday night.
Yep.
And crashed for a few hours at Katie's grandma's house.
Uh-huh.
She wouldn't let me sleep in the same bed as Katie because we're not married.
You have two children.
We've been together for 12 years. We've literally lived together one day longer than we've been dating.
Yeah.
Which is a
whole different story.
whole different story. But,
yeah. You have two children together.
Right, but she would not, because we're not married. That's the level of religious that her grandma is.
Where did James sleep? Outside? In the yard?
No, that we'll get there.
Okay.
I was fully prepared to
sleep in a tent.
I was fully prepared to set the tent up and sleep with James in the tent, but we found other options.
Okay, good.
So we get there, and like Katie's grandma's house was built in like 1912,
yeah,
and was most recently remodeled in like 1935. Like it's rough on the outside. All of the housing, where they live, like I think is an incredibly poor part of this country.
Yeah,
there's like nothing there.
Yep.
Because I don't think that the mining industry in that area is dead. I think it's been mostly mined out.
Yeah. And
then like the mining industry, coal mining in general is pretty rough these days.
Yeah.
For a multitude of reasons.
Only a handful of people are making money at it.
Right.
And it's not the people that are working in the mine.
Right. And I think the mines have all but dried up in that part of Pennsylvania anyway, because we've been doing it for 150 years or whatever. Right. And so like there's nothing there, but because it's so mountainous, there's only so many places you can build.
Right.
Right. So like when you're driving down back roads there, you feel like you never leave town because there's always houses and there's always stuff. But that's because like when you and I think of like, oh, we've left this town and we're in these wide open spaces, like, and we will only see houses every so often because they can build them anywhere here.
Yeah.
But they're like, the road is here because that's where the road can be. And so then the house has to be built here because that's where the road is.
That's the only place to put it.
Right. And there's a road that goes from here to here, and that's it.
Okay.
You know? And so, like, people have built... So you don't really feel like you've left town because the trees are so thick that you can't see very far, and you see the houses all the time.
Yep.
So it just feels like you've never left town when you think of it from an Iowan point of view.
Yeah.
But... she lives in this small little, I mean, there can't be 500 people in this little bitty town.
Okay.
And I think all of them are pretty low income.
Well, I don't imagine
there's no factory, there's no industry out there really.
Yep.
I mean, pretty much everybody who has a job is in the service industry, and that's not a good way to build an economy and a like a decent living
Right.
population. The base of your lower income people is not good.
Right.
When all you have is service.
Right. And you're just servicing
Those same
Others,
people. You're just like, here's your $15 for working today.
Yep.
Now I'm going to go across the street and spend it at that place. And then they're going to take that $50 and bring it right back to me tomorrow.
Yeah, it just stays in this.
Yeah. So it's, so everything is extremely run down.
Okay.
It's rough.
Yeah, I'm picturing it.
Yeah.
I've driven through those areas.
I kind of wish I would have taken a picture of the house, but we pulled up at the house and James was like, what? I was like, oh, it's that house right there on the right. And James was like, people live in that? Like, yeah, it's out of control, dude.
Huh. Is it like a wood burning stove house?
Yes.
Okay.
It's 100% a wood burning stove house.
Wow.
The fact that house hasn't burned to the ground.
In the 100 years it's been a thing.
Well, no, in like the last 30 minutes is a shock to me.
Okay.
Because her grandma fancies herself a bit of a DIYer, apparently. She has no
business being a DIY.
No business being those things. Like,
so that house is wired by someone that's never done wiring.
By like an 80-year-old woman. Like her husband's been dead for, I don't know, 20 years or something like that.
Okay.
And like there's an electric heater hanging on the wall, like one of those
like the ones that
like hang on the wall that you build into the wall.
Yeah.
It just has the hot coil and blows, and a fan blows across that hot coil.
That you can burn paper on.
Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, and like you wire them to their own breaker, and your. No, she bought an extension cord, and cut the end off of it. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. The place is terrifying.
Half of the things I'd be drafty as hell too.
There's a rock in their backyard. Years ago, when Katie and I had semi first started dating, I think this was like 8 years ago, when we've been together for like 10 years or whatever. Or 12 years. So this was like 8 or 10 years ago. I went up there with them and stayed there for a week for the family vacation thing. And we took the Audi and went up there. So we had our dog. So I was living in my house. Yep. But not for very, like that was like the first summer that we had owned the house at that point. And I was just like desperate for anything to do that wasn't inside of that house.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I get it.
And so like I was like, oh, the lawn needs mowed. Like I'll do that. And so her grandma was like showing me the lawnmower and stuff like that. And she's like, there's the big rock out there, the rock in the middle of the backyard. Don't move it. And I was like, what? She's like, oh, it's covering an old air inlet for the mine that's underneath the town. And it's big enough that a kid could fall in it. So we just put that big rock over it. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's like a fucking opal mine in
it was a coal mine.
That's what I'm saying. It's like an opal mine in Australia. Yeah. It's just like a 2-foot hole or 3-foot hole in the ground.
Yeah.
And it's like 100 feet deep. And they just leave them there.
Yeah, that's what this is.
Oh God.
There's a coal mine underneath that town that's been closed down for 1 billion years.
But there's a 1.5 feet.
But there's like a hole that's big enough that a small child, like my son, could fall in it. I couldn't, but my son could.
Yeah. It's not the size of a manhole, but it's like half of a manhole.
No, but like when you see that, like the kid fell down a mine shaft, and they're like on the news, right?
Yeah.
And they're like excavating this hole that's 8 inches across. Yeah, it's one of those, except it's in their backyard.
And it's been there for 100 years.
Right. The house was built 100 years ago, and so the mine's been there at least that long.
Yep.
So like that's the level of craziness.
Don't move the rock.
That is this place.
The best part is the rock is small enough that you could just pick up and move it.
Well, I mean, I could have moved it, but it would have been
effort,
right? Okay. But like, I could have rolled it. It was between knee and waist height and roughly round.
Yeah, you could have moved it.
Like I could have pushed it out of the way and then not had to mow around it. I think that's what she was worried about, is that I was going to roll it away and mow around it instead of mowing around it. I was going to roll it out of the way and just pass right on by. And so
as a guy that doesn't mow his own lawn, there's no way you're moving a rock.
Well, at that time I was mowing my own lawn, Robbie. Come on now, Robbie. I haven't been doing that forever. So we drop Katie off and we leave.
Yeah.
As quickly as we could. Mostly because we still had 6 hours to drive at this point.
Okay. I like how we're an hour into this podcast. We haven't even made it to Lime Rock.
Well, I don't have much to say about Lime Rock, to be honest with you.
Okay. This episode is about the traveling to and from Lime
That's
Rock.
usually where the shenanigans happen. Is not the event is not the highlight of our weekend recaps, generally speaking.
That's fair.
Like the on track things are not the highlight of our weekend.
That's
not what people tune in for.
No. If they want that, they'll
That's
go.
hardly even what people go to Gridlife for. Let's be honest.
That's also fair. That is very fair.
I mean, if you just want track time,
For how serious people are about the rules, they're really not even there for
if
that.
all you want is track time, there's way better ways to get it.
Uh-huh. But if you want an experience,
There's few ways to get an experience the likes of just about any Gridlife event, on or off track, frankly.
Yep.
So, anyway, so we got like another hour or two down the road, and we're like, man, we should probably eat, right? And then we needed to stimulate the local economy.
Of course.
And by that, I mean stop at Walmart.
What'd you forget?
So, what did I forget? So I didn't have a pillow,
Classic.
which I didn't buy at Walmart. I forgot to buy. And I was like in the throes of the worst allergy attack I've ever had in my life.
Okay.
Like I had gone through a box and a half of Kleenexes since we left Chicago. Out of control.
Just like a faucet.
Just never ending. And so I was like, we got to get some allergy meds.
Yeah.
Ray wanted to get some like ramen and some other random stuff because he had bought some sort of electric heating plate thing that he could make some food on. I don't know.
Okay.
And like we just needed a few random little things. It wasn't too bad. For the most part, I remembered most of the things
That's good.
that I needed.
You're learning.
Slowly but surely.
Don't you just leave your pillow in the trailer?
Yeah, but the stacker didn't come.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that could be why you forgot your pillow.
I was happy that I had an air mattress at home, but we'll get to my air mattress because I'm still mad about it. So anyway, we stopped at a Walmart, and then we got some food at a KFC, and I fire up my GPS, and it tells us to go the opposite way from the way that we came to get on the interstate, or to get off the interstate. It was telling me to go the opposite way.
Quite literally just back where you came from.
Right, because like I can see the interstate. It's right there, right?
Okay.
And so I'm looking, I'm like, so I back out and I go back and like, yep, that's what it's telling us to do. And so I kind of zoomed out and like, dude, there was like a 20 to 30 mile run of eastbound Interstate 80
Shut down.
that was as dark red as I've ever seen it. Like it just as well have been black.
It was basically saying avoid at all
and so
costs.
it was literally sending us through the back roads of Pennsylvania at 9 o'clock at night or whatever it was.
Have you ever seen the movie Wrong Turn?
The comment may have been made more than once.
Okay, good.
So we just like take off and start driving. Whatever.
Yeah, you're gonna follow the GPS.
And like, but the road, it's totally dark.
Yeah.
And these roads are pretty fucking wild.
Yeah, there's a lot of turns, and there's
Blind corners.
and the trees.
There's no shoulder.
Yep.
There's trees.
Yep.
There's
No light, because
pavement,
even if there is the moon.
6 inches of grass, tree line.
Yep, that sounds
And it's probably a
60-foot drop
right
now.
Yeah. If the trees don't catch you, the rocks at the bottom will.
Yep. Whatever's left.
Yeah.
It can just crumble down there.
Right. And so I guess this is what we're doing. So we're bonsaiing through the back roads of mountain roads of central Pennsylvania in a lifted CRV in the dark. And we get to where it tells us we're supposed to go back to get on the interstate, and that road's closed.
Great.
And like, it's not just, that doesn't just have a sign, like that road doesn't exist right now.
Like the bridge is gone.
They're in the process of rebuilding that road. It doesn't exist right now. So we couldn't go through it.
Yep.
Although we did have a lifted CRV.
We could have tried.
The thought did cross our mind, but the CRV behind us was not a lifted CRV. And so we went the other way, and it like kept trying to send us back that way. So we just kept going farther and farther away in the general direction we thought we needed to go until it eventually gave us a different route. But dude, we were
Way out of the way.
we were 30 seconds off of being lost in the middle of nowhere with little to no cell phone reception.
And little to no, like, running out of gasoline.
No, we were good on fuel,
Well, that's
but
good.
like it was pitch dark, pretty shitty fuel or pretty shitty cell phone reception in a place that none of us had literally ever seen in our entire lives ever.
That's just good content.
And so, like, we're kind of lucky we didn't get lost. We got back on the interstate and we bonsai'd down the road. We got to Lime Rock at 1 o'clock in the morning again.
Nice.
Seems to be a reoccurring theme.
Common theme there.
Yeah. So, and then it took us like 20 minutes of driving around Lime Rock to find the dyno. Because
they have it in like a weird spot?
It was kind of, so Lime Rock is very, very sound conscious.
Really?
They have sound restrictions.
I did not know that.
We got a sound-free weekend. Gridlife did.
Nice.
A sound restriction-free weekend.
Yeah.
But we still couldn't start until 9 a.m. and we had to be done at 6 p.m. and there's still no racing allowed on Sundays. So like even though it was noise restriction-free, we still couldn't start until 9 and we had to be done by 6 and we still weren't allowed to race on Sundays. And that's that way whether you're Joe Blow running a track day or IMSA. You cannot start till 9. You have to be done by 6, and you can't race on Sundays.
Yep.
Like, that's the rules.
That's crazy.
Written into the township.
How far are they away from a town? I thought they were kind of like...
So that's hard, because that area wasn't that much different than where we were at in Pennsylvania.
Right.
So that was kind of why I was explaining that. Like, I don't know how far we were from a town because there's houses every 100 feet when you're driving down the road. I took that picture there. That's looking across the back straight up the mountain. The top of that mountain right there is the Appalachian Trail.
Oh, cool.
And there's a river at the bottom of the tree line, and then it comes back up to the track.
Yep.
That's on the back side of the track, on the back, like up the hill.
Yep.
But on the other side, on the front side of the track, apparently, so Lime Rock, most of the area that we were in Lime Rock is the inside of the track. There's a bridge that crosses over the track, like between turns 6 and 7.
Oh, yeah.
And then you're inside the track. And there's an upper paddock and a lower paddock A and paddock B. And the lower paddocks, like, they're built, like, to kind of contain the sound.
Oh,
because
that makes sense.
Because they're along the front paddock or along the front straight.
Yep.
And then on the other side of the front straight was some more, I think, spectator viewing area that we were not using because we didn't have an IMSA 100,000 people crowd, which I don't think they've had in 30 years probably. But then I guess there's houses
right there.
Like, I would say that some of those houses you could tell their backyards butted up against the fence of the racetrack.
Oh, wow.
As you come out of the last turn 7, the first, like, say if the straightaway was split up into 25 or into quarters, the first quarter of that, the fence and the catch fence is right there next to the track.
Yep.
And the other side of that catch fence is somebody's backyard.
Oh, wow.
Which would be the dopest house.
It would be great
if you're
a
into
fan.
it.
Yeah, if you're a fan.
Yeah, because it would be like one of the best. Like if you could just walk through your backyard and stand there
watching
on the catch fence, watching coming out of the last corner and down the front straightaway towards start finish, would be the best place to watch.
That'd be awesome viewing.
Be a really good place to watch if you're into it.
Yeah.
If you're not into it, really fucking suck.
That's a terrible place to live.
Terrible place to live. And some of those houses, I would say, in their defense, were probably there first.
100 years ago.
Because you got to remember, this is like old America, right? And so some of those houses probably were there before Lime Rock was, to be fair.
Okay.
This isn't like a lot of these other tracks where the track was built, then the houses got built, and then now they're pissed about the track.
Yeah.
The track probably did come second.
However, that was 60 years ago.
Right, and the owners of that house probably didn't come before the track, but whatever. So yeah, they have pretty strict sound restrictions, and so
I never would have guessed that.
So the dyno got kind of put down in the bottom of paddock B, lower paddock B, to kind of be hidden a little bit and to try and block some of the sound. So it was in kind of a weird place where we didn't get a lot of foot traffic, and it was also kind of hard to find even for us. Also, it was 1 o'clock in the morning; we were dead ass tired. So, but yeah, it was kind of rough to find it, which. most of the spectators and the car show and the concourse and stuff like that was going on was in the upper paddock.
Yep.
And so you had to be like kind of committed. And there's a staircase that goes down to paddock A, which is where most of the competitors were. And then paddock B would have been like where the big rigs were.
Okay.
And so, because paddock B area is a lot wider, A is long and narrow. And so, like regular car trailers and people who drove their cars there, they for the most part they filled in paddock A, and then the guys with the toters and the stackers and the RVs were over by us. And so, most of the crowd just, if they came down to the lower paddock area, they just came down the steps from the upper paddock into paddock A, walked around that a little ways, and then went back up.
Okay.
Because like, it's a really good track to watch racing.
Oh, definitely.
It's a really good track to watch. The viewing is really good because the inner area of that of like the upper paddock is above the racetrack, so you're looking down at the track.
Oh, that's perfect.
It's so good. Like turn 1, 2, 3, and 4 is kind of like this big open area that, and you can sit on a hill and there's trees, and you can sit on the hill underneath the tree shade and just watch like 4 out of 7 of the corners of the track, and the track is literally a minute long or less.
Yep.
And so there's like Road America, there's a bunch of really cool places where you can kind of sit on hills and you're over
miles apart.
But the lap times are 2 to 3 minutes long, and so cars go, and then you wait for a little while. Whereas here, like, there's no waiting. Like, Tomo and a bunch of the front leaders of the GLTC were lapping a significant number of cars.
Whoa.
Which has never happened in a GLTC race because
never.
they're so short.
Right.
And frankly, because even the slowest guys aren't that radically slower.
No, not usually.
So, I mean, it's a short track, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, I
actually really like it for time attack because the really high-strung cars were still getting more than one flyer per session.
Well, that's nice.
Because their cars weren't getting so hot on their flyers.
Yep.
So they could do two laps of cool down and then throw another flyer in there. And even, Jackie and Dewey and Houghton, who normally go out and just throw a lap in and then are done.
Yep.
Because by the time the car cools down, they don't have enough time in the session. They're getting like 12 laps a session.
That never happens.
So they're getting 3 or 4 flyers a session.
Oh shit.
Which was awesome.
Yeah, that's fun to watch.
If you can watch it.
If you were able to get away from the dyno to watch it.
Because the dyno, basically the dyno is open to the public and to the competitors. And
so if someone has their car there that isn't part of Gridlife, they could still jump on the dyno.
Yeah, it's $100 for GA and $75 for a competitor.
Yep.
And then $175 an hour for tuning.
Which, super fair rates.
You got to bring your tuner.
Yeah, of course.
Or remote your tuner in, which was done a couple of times as well. So because it's open to the public, I can't leave the dyno.
Yeah.
Because if someone walks by there, like I'm there to make sure that this thing is paying for itself.
There's nothing worse than an empty track or an empty dyno.
Right. That's exactly where we're at on this. And like if it would have been in the upper paddock, we would have never stopped. I mean, it would have been
all day, every day.
Constant. From 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. nonstop the whole damn time. Because people would have seen it. But because of where we were,
the only people that saw it were the people that actively were looking for it.
Right. Or like, honestly, I think we could have like gone and grabbed buddies and had them do free dyno polls just so that people would see it, that it was a thing.
Yep. And
then would have brought their cars and paid us. We probably would have made more money by giving a few away.
Probably.
Just because people could see that it was being used. Or like if you hear it, like, oh,
there's a dyno.
They're doing dyno polls somewhere. Like, let's go find that. I want to put my ratty ass Volkswagen on it or whatever.
Yep.
So I don't know. We didn't do a ton of polls.
Really?
There were a lot of newer GLTC competitors.
Oh yeah, people from the East Coast that had
Right, people from the East Coast areas that hadn't seen GLTC or hadn't been to GLTC events before, and so they were doing their compliance checks just to make sure that they were turning in their correct comp numbers.
Yep.
And like we dynoed a guy who actually I think did really well on the weekend. He had an Integra.
Yeah.
His first name was Ronnie. He had a really weird last name. If you're listening to this, I'm not even going to try to butcher my way
I can't
through
remember.
it. Really good looking car. Real friendly guy. He pulled the car on there. I'm pretty sure it was him. He pulled the car on there before for compliance. It's a Honda Challenge car.
Oh, that's cool.
Originally, which a lot of the Honda Challenge cars should slot right into GLTC with little to no changes except tires because that's a Hoosier,
right?
Or whatever,
yeah, Continental or whatever
usually.
It was. Yeah.
And so we pulled the dyno, or we ran the car on the dyno, and it made like 180. And he's like really? Like, I mean, that's what the dyno says. He's like, can I change some stuff? I'm like, do whatever you want, dude.
Man.
Like, you get 3 pulls, and after that, it's $175 an hour. And he's like, well, I got a tune loaded on the computer, like an all-out tune. I was like, yeah, whatever, load it up. And it made 203, which is what he thought his other tune was making.
Okay.
And he's like, I'm fucking running Honda Challenge for 2 years with 20 horsepower down on what I thought I was making.
So that was the last time he'd been tuned?
He had 2 tunes. He had a all-out tune, and then he had just like a detune tune, and he thought that tune made two like low between 200 and 205, and it only made 180.
Oh man!
But like, did it make 205 when he had it tuned 2 years ago, and something's changed since then, and he's lost 20 horsepower? I don't know.
Maybe
we had some kids. They pulled their car up. There was a Civic, and they pulled the car up onto the dyno, and they're like, yeah, we just want to run it, see what it's doing, and they didn't we let you choose for the competitors, like if you're comfortable doing the dyno pulls, if you know
do
what
it
you're
yourself,
doing. Like,
yeah. I mean that's what they did at WRL too.
Like, I don't need to kick Andy out of his car and do his dyno pulls for him.
He's fully capable,
right? If he's just checking his compliance, if Andy Smedgard comes up to me and says, hey, I want to just make sure my car is where I want it to be, I'm not going to do his dynos.
Unless we think he's cheating.
Well, so if he gets impounded, then yeah, get your ass out of your car.
That's fair.
But
if you're being suspected of cheating, then yeah.
But
you
if this is, like
pulls.
like some people I don't need to do it for them.
Right.
But other people, they're not comfortable with it. And like GA guys, nobody gets to.
No, that's fair.
That's just the rule. We'll pull depending on what the car is, we'll either let you pull it on or we'll pull it on.
Yep.
And then we do the dyno runs.
Which is fair.
Pure and simple. So we had some kids, some younger guys that were pretty inexperienced with the stuff, and they pulled their Civic on there. Well, we pulled it on there, and James was doing the dyno pulls, and I was running the computer. In the car, like, the dyno was the nastiest graph I've ever seen. It was up and down and up and down,
all
just
over
like
the place.
Really bouncing up and down really badly, and you could tell the car was like
running like shit,
breaking up really badly. And at idle, it sounded like a big cammed
chop chop chop.
Yeah, like it sounded rowdy almost. Like it kind of sounded cool, but it clearly wasn't supposed to be doing that.
No shoot.
And so we did a dyno pull, and it was way down on power, and it was breaking up really bad, and it like barely even made it to red line. And they're like, I mean, what's going on? And James is like he's a mechanic by day, and he's a Honda fanatic through and through. And so he's like, kind of listing off a couple of things that like they should check. And like, do you care? And like, well, you're the only one in the dyno right now, so
you got the time.
I mean, if you want to change a few things and make another pull, I mean,
yeah, till someone's in line.
Till someone's in line, I don't care what you do with it. And like, once you get your 3 pulls, I'm switching you to hourly, but you've got 3 pulls to do whatever you want. I don't really care. And so we ended up swapping. It was a K-swapped car.
Okay.
Then I'm assuming it was a used engine.
Of course.
And I don't know how many miles were on that engine, but I think it still had the Honda OEM factory spark plugs in it. I mean, they were rough.
Yeah, that'll definitely fuck with your power.
So we put all new spark plugs in it, and it was better, but it wasn't
not right.
fixed.
Well, I suppose if it's been running fouled plugs for who knows how long,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, everything else is probably gross in there too.
Yeah. So I think it's funny the dyno was originally bought as a tool for Gridlife to, it's a spectacle in of itself and for the GA stuff and things like that, but like it was also bought as a tool to make sure that people were in compliance post race.
Yep.
But there's a lot of people who have used it pre-race to make sure they're in compliance, which is exactly what we want. But also there's a lot of people who have realized that they're not where they thought they were, and then either got tuners on the phone or found somebody at the track, like Eric Levine, who comes with Houghton to most of these events. And, a lot of these cars are Honda cars, and so and I think Eric can tune pretty much anything you give him, but I promise you that there have been, since the beginning of this year, there's probably been 15 cars that have pulled on that dyno and been made more competitive, better cars at the event
than what they showed up with.
Which
is a good thing.
I think that's cool. Like, it's increasing the parity in a way that I don't think anybody had originally expected.
Right.
It's making some of these. It's making some of these backpack and mid pack cars be more front pack and more front of mid pack capable.
Yeah, no, I think the intent was originally to, here's the dyno, we're keeping you honest,
right? But it's also gotten some people who didn't realize they weren't where they thought they were, and made their cars better because of it, which is cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
So, we did get a few cool things. We were able to dyno the Fortner's AMG GTS,
which is a gorgeous car.
It was the worst car I've ever strapped down on a dyno.
What was so bad about it? Because I know you mentioned before that it was awful.
So he's got a bunch of APR makes like an aero kit for the car.
Yep.
And so they have a bunch of APR
carbon
stuff on it. So it's got a long approach angle. There's a lot of nose on that car, and the front wheels are not super close to the front of the car. And the bumper does not curve back like at all. It's just a big flat air dam. And then there's 5 inches of splitter in front of that.
Yep.
And the car's pretty low to begin with. And so it was really hard to get it pulled onto the dyno, even with the approach angle that the dyno allows. We had to block it up a little bit to get it up on there. And then there's a lot. It doesn't have a full flat floor under it, but there's a lot of flat under tray.
Yep.
And so there was nowhere to be able to run the straps to get to anything because the suspension arms are way up in there.
Oh, yeah.
And the flat floor was
below.
Right. So, like, the straps were coming forward and then having to go up at a really hard angle to get to the arms.
Ugh.
And then when I'm wrenching them down, it's pulling on the flat floor stuff, which is just OEM plastics, but still I don't want to.
Yeah, you don't want to break any of it.
Right. And they're expecting this car to make over 600 wheels. So I'm like.
But it needs to be strapped down.
So I want it to be really strapped down, but I also don't want it to rip through these fucking plastics when he hammers on it. So it was hard to get on there. It was kind of a pain in the ass, which, I mean, it's not a knock against the car. It's just Josh and I expected to have more trouble getting cars on there at Midwest than we did.
Uh-huh.
So this kind of made up for it. I had a couple of cars that were kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah, when you got a splitter that big and you're that low, then you don't have all the runoff in the world.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
So I made like 546 to the wheel. I think it was pretty heat soaked.
Oh, okay.
So the first time that we made the pull, I couldn't get a wheel chock in between the back of the splitter and the front of the tire. I couldn't get the good wheel chock in there, and that makes a huge difference on keeping that car in place.
Right.
And the first pull we did, like, it pulled really far forward. It clearly was not well enough strapped down. So he aborted the pull like partway through it.
Yep.
And so then I redid the whole thing.
Yep.
And by the time I got it all redone, the transmission was pissed off about how hot it was.
Oh, shit.
The car went into limp mode and wouldn't let it. And so we had a bunch of fans blowing at it. We were squirting water into the front of the car trying to get it to cool off.
Yep.
But I think it was really heat soaked when he did the dyno pull. But Dewey comes running in there because it's a street mod car, so of course Dewey's got to be involved in it. And he, before we, like, as we're strapping it down and stuff, he's hyping everybody up. Like, I want numbers. Let's do dollar bets. Let's see what this thing makes. And he's like, Cal's dad, Rich. He's like, it's the shop promised me it's gonna make 618 or whatever it's supposed to make, and there were a bunch of different. And Dewey's like, I've been next to this car on track. Like, this car makes 550 or whatever number it was. And he's like, it's not make 618 or whatever. You
not
think
to the wheels.
He's like, I've been next to this car in a straightaway. Like, I know what it makes roughly, and no. And they're all going back and forth. And then we did the pulls and made 546 or whatever. Torque monster.
Oh, I bet.
So that car's a bad mammer jammer. It's really, really cool.
That would be a super fun car.
It's a super cool car.
I need to get close. Is he going to Alpine, do you know?
I have no idea.
If he is, I'm going to stick my head in there. Obviously, I haven't been to a Gridlife all year, but
right, it's a neat little car.
I definitely like those cars.
Yeah, it's a really cool. I love that it's a street mod car. It's such a neat.
I assumed it was track mod. Didn't even think twice about it.
Yeah, it's such a neat car to be a time attack car.
Yes.
So
more of that.
I really encouraged that life.
The AMG Mercedes life.
They said, like, well, we could spend a bunch of money developing a cheaper car, or we could buy a more expensive car that AMG developed themselves and is much closer to the mark that we want it to be at from the factory. That makes a lot more sense.
Is that wrong?
They're probably going to end up spending less money, even though the purchase of it is probably
more expensive.
pretty steep. But like, at the end of the day, they probably spend less money getting that car to where they want it to be than what it would have been if they'd have bought like a $15,000 STI or whatever.
Right. Oh,
so,
yeah, for sure.
Neat.
Very
fun.
Very neat.
We dynoed a couple of random GA cars. Like we got an FD that was a right-hand drive FD that I pulled onto the dyno, which was really kind of a weird experience.
Yeah, I bet.
That was pretty cool.
That'd be a fun car.
Yeah, and we dynoed a few random things. It wasn't. We weren't really that. This Saturday or Friday, we almost did nothing.
Really?
Once the track really started getting into it, and like the GLTC guys were, like, the first couple of GLTC guys had ran through. We didn't really do that much. Saturday we did a little more because there were more people. Okay. Because like always with these big events, more people showed up Saturday.
Right.
So, but because I'm kind of tied to the dyno, I didn't like. I could see the front straight. I could see some of turn 7 and some of the front straightaway, and like on Saturday, it never seemed to fail that when some rando wanted their car dynoed, it was either Time Attack Group A or the fucking GLTC race.
Every time.
And so there were multiple times where I'm underneath a car strapping it down with my phone sitting on the dyno with Race Hero open so I can see what times are rolling in. And like one of the times that Houghton reset his time, I don't remember where it was, but like I think he was in like the 53s at this point. Yep. And I'm like cheering to myself underneath the like, fuck yeah, you get him. Like, I think that was the time where, because at that point I think Sasha in that 350Z that he has, Sasha Anise or whatever, in that crazy 350Z,
for which doesn't produce a crazy amount of power, which is wild.
I mean, it's not a small amount of power.
No, but it's not what you think it would be for how fast he's going.
It's a pretty wild build. But he was just ahead of Houghton at that point. Okay. And then I think Houghton just barely squeezed him out like towards the end of his session because he was on like his third flyer of the session, which was amazing. And I'm just like, fuck yeah, like this is the best, because this is the first time in a long time that we've had a genuine unlimited battle.
Yeah, all year there hasn't been much.
Like the last 2 or 3 years. Like, yeah, Ferris has been there and he's been setting incredible times, but no one's been chasing him.
No, he's been out. League of his own.
I've talked about that on the live stream and on the podcast, that like I almost feel bad for Ferris at those events because the only thing he's chasing is a record on a spreadsheet, and that's so much harder to chase than a person who is there on the track with you.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Although the motivation's not there.
The motivation is
I mean, it's there,
lot,
but
it's there, but it's
different.
not the same. It's just not the same.
No. I mean, it's obviously apples and oranges, but like it's me going to a mid-iv TT event. I'm not going to push it 10/10 because I'm not going to take the risk.
Or like even that's like it'd be you going to an HPDE event and just seeing a time pop up on your dash,
right?
Like it's.
I mean, yeah, I have a goal.
Yeah, I mean, you obviously you want to improve, you want your PB, but like it's not the same as like you chasing Matt Thompson,
right?
You know?
Oh yeah. And we were both in production D, and you're challenging each other,
right?
Way more interesting.
You guys aren't tail to tail chasing each other with less than half a second on the table,
right?
You know, and that's like, dude, I can't describe to you how exciting it was to like finally have a quality, unlimited class battle between Houghton in that fucking nutty Evo, and Sasha in his just, if not even more nutty 350Z. It was the best. I've never been so happy about something in my life. But like,
yeah, that's
and
good.
then Turek was out there
with his Supra,
just banging down laps in that car too.
Awesome. It was good to see.
Oh god, so good.
So that's got the Judd V10 in it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Sequential, I assume.
Oh yeah, Hollinger.
Yep.
And then he's semi-local. Like I think he's from Connecticut.
Yeah. He's from somewhere over there.
Yeah, I think he's from Connecticut. So I know he's an East Coaster. And so he was there with that Supra, and then he had his old FRS drift car that
fun.
he was taking out.
Always like that car.
In the drift sessions too. This was the first time that they've ever drifted on Lime Rock, full track.
Yep.
Friday morning, I was walking over to the drivers' meeting because I kind of just wanted. I always like to just kind of be around it.
Yes.
And then that was a chance for me to say hi to some people because we had gotten there at 1:00 in the morning, so I hadn't seen anybody yet. And they had a concession stand, and I'm fucking starving, so I stopped and there was nobody in line, so I stopped and grabbed a sandwich. And while I'm standing there waiting for them to give me my sandwich, they were having a corner marshal meeting right there at the picnic tables, and they were talking about the drift session.
Yep.
And the guy who was running it, he's like, yeah, I don't really know what to expect. He's like, they say they're going to use the full course, but like I very seriously doubt they're going to drift turn 7. And I was like,
bro, that's like
you don't even know.
Brian Turk's going to go out there and hit it full speed.
Yeah,
first lap.
They were, because it was the first time, and we were trying to like build a reputation
so
here,
we can come back.
Yeah, they were very selective on who they brought in.
Yep.
And I almost think they didn't bring in pros on purpose.
Oh, really?
Because sometimes they're almost as much a problem as anybody.
Because they're willing to write the car off.
Right. And they're also like not afraid to dirt drop and do shit like that because it's part of the spectacle and the show, right? And that's the opposite of what we were after here.
That's okay. That's fair.
And so the drifters were supposed to build into the weekend. And I think they did a really good job. I didn't really see like carnage or anything like that. I think
something super dangerous, like someone getting out of his car to grab his bumper.
They did really well, as far as I know.
I didn't hear anything.
There were people drifting turn 7 by the end of the weekend, but I don't think they just like went out there and said, "Fuck it, let's do 110 mile an hour entries down this hill we've never driven before."
Turk was the only one there that I would think would be capable.
Michael Essa was there too.
He'd be capable,
which he could do. He's a Formula Drift driver.
Yep.
And like, you know, Robert Thorne is
he's capable
pro spec driver,
yep.
And a couple of the other ASM guys I think could do dumb shit like that, and they had their cars there.
Okay.
I mean, when I say dumb shit, I mean like
fast,
not like,
crazy,
not like that's fucking stupid. They shouldn't be doing it, but like
wild shit.
Yeah, that's crazy stuff, right?
110 mile an hour drifts through turn 7 at Lime Rock.
I don't know how fast they were going. You know, that's just a guess. I don't know. I don't have any idea how fast they were going, but it had to have been pretty gnarly.
Hauling the mail.
So Houghton was parked like right across from the dyno, so I got a chance to talk to him quite a bit this weekend, which was fun because like at one point he came over and was like talking to me, which I felt really weird about.
You know who you are,
because like I realize that he knows who I am and stuff like that, but like I was thinking, what was it, 5 years ago when we went to our first Gridlife event, our first Midwest Fest?
Yep.
Like I was a time attack nerd before this podcast started.
Long before.
And like I've known who James was for years because he's been such a staple in the sport for so long.
Right.
And so like I'm thinking about it, like, man, 5 years ago, I remember standing on the side of the track watching James be the first person to ever go sub 30 at Gingerman and like thinking this is the fucking wildest thing I've ever seen in my life. And like, that's James fucking Houghton right there. Like he's one of the most accomplished and well-known time attack drivers on the planet.
Yep.
And like, he's coming over to chit chat with me. Yeah, like what a fucking weird world. What?
That was the whole point of the podcast, Adam. So we could
I was giving him shit. I told him like, I just want you to know that like the world has righted itself. I said I don't wish any ill will against you and your GLTC efforts, but that car's in the fucking trailer, broken down, and you're out here setting lap records in a unlimited class Evo and leading the top of the time attack boards. The world has righted itself. Like. Everything is as it should be once again. I can't even describe to you how happy that made me.
How did he feel?
I mean, I think he was pretty excited to be back in a time attack car.
I would imagine.
Doing dumb time attack things.
Obviously disappointed about his GLTC car.
Yeah, disappointed about the GLTC car, but excited.
Was he? No, sorry, go ahead.
So the first lap he did was like a 55.
Okay.
Which I think was already
fast
and quite impressive to like the marshals and to Skip Barber because Skip Barber was there. Like Sam Posey was there, and I remember like somebody had mentioned, I think Adam had mentioned that, you know, Skip had asked like what is that, how is he doing 55s, and James's car was being dyno tuned during that session.
Okay.
His TSX was being dyno tuned. And so as soon as he gets out of his car and all that, he came over and was talking to us. And that was when I saw that leaderboard, which I think every track should have.
They really should.
Lime Rock has a board, has like a sign up on the wall next to the timing tower that has the absolute track record, the absolute fastest that any car of any make, model, build, design, whatever has gone around that track, like in consecutive order. And so it's got the name, the year, and the time.
So it's dating back to 1957, and then every record every time it's been broken.
And so it started in like the mid-minute tens.
Yeah,
right?
1:10:40 is the first 57 record.
Right, and then it just kind of slowly ticks down and gets into the sub minutes by like the 70s or something like
67.
that. And then the outright record is a 43.2.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, 43.112, set by P.J. Jones in 1993 in a Daytona, or in an IMSA GTP car.
Yes. Which is stupid fast.
Which I think you did the math on it. It was like an average, like what was 128 mile an hour average, 118 mile an hour average.
I did the average when we were talking.
Which is so dumb.
That's crazy fast.
Because it's not that fast of a track. It's a fast track the whole time. Like the average mile per hour is pretty high because there's not a lot of braking.
Right.
But the max speed is not that high.
Correct.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. But like, having an average that high is absurd.
You go pretty quick given the size of the track, but like there's not a section where you're doing 180 miles an hour like you are at COTA or Road America.
Right.
But to average 128 miles an hour or whatever, it was either, I know it was a 1-something 8. Yeah. So it was either 118 or 128. I can't remember now.
No, I can't remember now. I did the math, but it was.
But to average that is like so crazy. And so I showed that to James. I was like, so this is the time to beat. Yeah. And he's like, what did I just run? I was like, it was like a 55. So you got some work to do. Yeah. And he's like, well, that was about the most mediocre of laps I've ever ran in my entire life. He says the car was breaking up pretty bad, and it wasn't like it wasn't where it needs to be. That was literally his first flyer he's ever done at Lime Rock Park in a real car.
Right.
You know, I'm sure he's got tons of iRacing time on it.
Yeah, that's one of the free tracks.
Right. And so as the weekend went on, like that was the challenge, which I didn't expect it to ever
come close.
Even come close. But to see a sub 50 would have been really
amazing.
Really amazing. He told me so that car makes 870 on calibration 4, which is full kill mode.
Okay.
And on Friday night he told me that he asked Eric to add a few more pounds. Okay. Car hasn't blown up yet. Let's add a few more pounds.
We're clearly not close to the ragged edge yet.
Yeah. So I'm guessing on Saturday that car, if he was using full kill, was making in the 9s.
Wow.
So he said it was a really understeery car. Like it was there just was no front end grip on that car.
Oh shoot.
For the weekend.
That's not confidence inspiring.
At some point, somebody told me that he was Scandinavian flicking it into corners.
Yeah.
Like he's in a Sunday Cup fit with chasing Matt Williams, except he's in a 900 horsepower Evo with a custom carbon fiber body on it.
Wild.
And he's Scandinavian flicking it to try and get it to rotate because it just had no front end grip.
Yikes.
So that's pretty wild.
So there's some time on the table then.
Yeah. So I think he ended like what did he end in? A 51.
That is moving, though.
51.9? No. I don't remember. It was fast. I was a little worried there. So they did this thing so the event was called Circuit Legends, right?
Yep.
And the idea behind it, we've talked about it a little bit, but the idea behind the whole event was that it was supposed to be a festival level budget, but no music. And the budget that would normally cover the music, which is pretty absurdly large amount of
not
the
a small
festival
amount of
budget, was supposed to bring in vintage era cars, if you will, from like the early 2000s back to like the 80s.
Yep. That
were street cars, race cars, the cars of our youth. It's because most vintage races are more of the cars of our
60s
parents'
70s,
youth.
Yeah.
And like we're old enough now that these cars are vintage.
Oh yeah.
And so the circuit they did a Circuit Legends shootout where they wanted cars that they felt represented Gridlife and not only Gridlife but like us as a population.
Right.
So like Super K, which is Alex Moss and
green
Smedgard's lime green S2000.
Yep.
Alex Moss owns it. Andy Smedgard, ASM guy, built it. K swapped, DCT swapped, Ford 8.8 IRS swapped. I mean, like it's
one lap completing.
It looks like an S2000, but that's about it anymore.
Yep.
But Jabay apparently considers that to be the most legendary street-driven Honda on the planet.
I can't disagree.
And so like that was why we wanted that in there. And then James obviously is James Houghton.
Yep.
And like I'm sure if Will would have been there or Ferris would have been there or any of our like hardcore top of the line unlimited competitors would have been more than welcomed into the Circuit Legends shootout. Matt Williams in his fit, which seems like a little weird, but like he's probably the most dominant individual driver in Gridlife track battle history, and maybe even in Gridlife history, period.
Yeah, I think so.
He's probably been on the top spot of the podium more than anybody else.
In a full field.
We were thinking about it. I don't know if this is true. Nobody said it wasn't, but apparently this may be the first weekend in the history of Spec Fit and or Sunday Cup, because they've technically both
changed.
been a class at one point, that Matt competed and did not win.
Oh, wow. He got second, though.
He did get second, yeah. So Ross, the guy that won in his fit, went out there and like threw down a hero lap first session and never found that time again.
No shit.
Which is kind of...
I saw in the chat that Matt joked about letting him think that he had it. Like, he was like, he got a good lap in. I let him have it for a minute, and then I'll take it later.
So, but during the Circuit Legends shootout session, which the time does not count. They were timing it, but it doesn't count towards anything in the weekend.
Okay.
James went faster than he had any other point in the weekend, and there's only one session left, which was the Saturday afternoon session, which historically is not the session you're going to set a time. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like ready to go over and petition to Adam that we let that time count.
This counts.
You know, and then in the last session of the day on Saturday, towards the end of the session, somehow James threw in some sort of hero lap on what was probably burned out A7s at that point.
Right.
On a hot track in the middle of the blazing sun of the afternoon and managed to set a new, I think, production car record for that track.
Wow.
So
good for him.
That was neat. As usual in Street Mod, Jackie ran away with it. He's kind of a
real
dumb fast.
Yeah, he's kind of head and shoulders above.
Yeah,
most
like
at this point.
Dewey was there.
Yep.
Dewey was chasing him down. I mean,
he was competitive.
Yeah, but it's the Jackie Ding show.
Yeah, he's got a hell of a car and
he's a hell of a driver.
It's hard to beat that.
Yeah. Street, Ben Lynn in his Gears and Gasoline Evo.
Oh yeah.
Went out and set a real fast lap, I think first session of Friday, and then blew up his turbo and managed to somehow hold on to the number one spot for the weekend, which was kind of a disappointment for everybody else. I'm sure Ben was happy that he got this. That's not the way he wanted to win it, I'm sure. But I'm sure, and it's probably frustrating because there was more time on the table.
Right.
Most likely.
Which is, it's frustrating for everybody.
Right. Club TR, Ben Thorne was the only real front running Club TR car there this weekend. So he pretty handily took that class.
Gotcha.
I already talked about Sunday Cup, track mod. There were a couple of interesting cars there, but I think Grant Walker in his Miata, which is a really cool car, and he's really in the last 2 years, he's really stepped up his driving in that car. Yeah. I remember the first year or two that he was a Gridlife regular, that car looked way crazier than it performed, and he's really amped up his game. It's been fun to watch him last year and this year. So, but yeah, I think that pretty much covers GLTC.
Tom O'Gomer show.
GLTC does stand for Gridlife Tomo Cup. I don't know if everybody else knows that or not, but
they know.
That's what it stands for.
They're aware.
He's an alien. He's a freak of nature.
It's not fair.
They gave him more weight. He just went faster.
Yeah, I was going to say. Watch, because he switched from Kumos to RE71Rs.
Well, on the weekend. As he wins races, his car gets heavier and he keeps going faster.
Yep, he did.
So
that's crazy.
He's an alien.
Yep.
He's a freak of nature.
Yep. So, we'll just have to... I think the new rules will have to be that if you're in the top 10, you have to run 300 tread wear.
I like that. I like that rule. I'm in on that rule. So,
and then if you're in the back, you can run Hoosiers. Fuck it. What difference? Put me on Hoosiers. It don't matter.
When your lap times are 20% off of where they need to be.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what tire you have.
No.
Let you run it 10-1. Does it matter?
We'll get sponsored by Accelera, and that could be the tire.
Accelera?
Yeah, it's that cheap.
Oh,
Jesus. It's that drift tire.
Oh, Jesus.
The 100 treadwear that wears like a 400 treadwear. Yeah. And has the grip of one as well.
Yeah, right. So, there was a big car show at the top of the hill. I never really got to see much of it. Yep. Friday night, I made my way up there before I couldn't take it anymore and had to go to bed. I went to bed pretty early Friday night.
I don't blame it based on
I'm not proud of that. Usually I really strive not to be the first person to go to sleep.
You drink a Rooster Booster. And
I try to stay up later than E-Man. That's my goal. Every weekend. I didn't accomplish that. And then Saturday night, as soon as the track went cold, I packed my shit up and I left because I needed to get back to Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Or because I rolled into Pennsylvania at 1 o'clock in the fucking morning and got up at 7 o'clock the next morning because we had to drive from Pennsylvania back to Nevada.
That was a long
day. It's a 12-hour drive on Google, but when you have a baby,
it's not 12 hours.
No, it's way longer. So we left at 7 a.m. and I rolled into my house at 10:30.
I mean, that's a long day.
Yeah.
I expect it to be later.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then right back to work the next day.
Didn't you do some commentating?
I did. So Kyle was on the stream the whole weekend.
Yes.
Friday and Saturday. And they were bringing in like people who work for FCP Euro.
Okay.
And
I saw
some of the other like
didn't they have,
sponsor or partners, I guess is what they call them.
Didn't they have wasn't Skip Barber on there?
I think he was just on there briefly.
Okay. I didn't think he spent a lot of time.
Made some
comments.
words,
Okay.
But he wasn't like, he didn't
commentate
on a session or anything like that.
Right.
But for the most part, I think it was FCP Euro guys and maybe some Valvoline guys or, some of the other big partners.
Yep.
And so they were bringing in guys that were a little bit green to what was happening on the track. As far as who's out there with him.
Yeah, they don't know the drivers. They don't know the builds.
Right. And so Kyle had to do a lot of talking that weekend.
Okay.
And so his voice was
shot.
And
which has happened a couple times.
So Jabe calls me like 10 minutes before the last time attack session. He's like, man, Kyle's dead. I need you to step in. I was like, okay.
I'm at the dyno, man.
Well, I mean, it wasn't even that. It was like, I haven't really been paying attention that much because I've been doing all this other stuff. And so I don't really know what's going on. But like, yeah, I'll do my best. Like, I'll step in and do what I can. So.
And then I picture it like everyone's sitting there watching YouTube. And then like, it's like in WWE.
I fucking hate you.
In WWE, when like the crowd is there.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, the music hits.
The Undertaker.
And it's like, bong. Everyone freaks out. They know. It's the fucking Undertaker.
Oh, shit, it's John Cena.
Oh! Just that pop. That fucking pop.
Yeah.
The whole crowd on their feet.
Except that they were all at home.
They were all at home. And all of a sudden, bong. And out steps Adam fucking Nielsen. And he gets on the mic. He's like, I don't know what you said because I didn't actually watch it live. But you were like, I'm here for the session. And everyone thumbed up that video right there. You got the most thumbs up I'd ever seen.
I mean, I doubt it.
I don't know if any of this is true, but I don't care. People were pumped about it.
There were multiple comments in the stream comment section on Twitch, I think, about, oh my God, he's
Adam.
back.
Yes, YouTube as well, I believe.
Which is really
I saw multiple screenshots of people
all
being
of you
happy.
People need more to do.
No. They need more people on their message board saying the same thing. Everyone.
It's out of control.
It's the best.
Out of control.
I was properly happy when I heard that.
I was excited. Don't get me wrong. Like I was excited to be back in it.
Fuck yeah.
I was not in the mind. I was too fucking tired.
That's the problem. Is like, Saturday afternoon, the event's winding down.
Yeah,
and you've
like,
worked your ass off.
It's been 80. It was like 85 degrees. Like it was hot, and I have gotten my air mattress, which
yes, you were going to tell us about this.
I totally forgot all of those shenanigans. So James and I roll in Thursday night at 1:00 in the morning, and I brought a tent, and we were both going to sleep in the tent. The tent said comfortably sleeps 2 to 3 people right on the outside of it. I set that thing up. I was like, James, I got bad news.
That's not a 2 to 3 person tent.
That's a one-man tent. Like, I got bad news for you, James. I think you could probably fit a queen-size mattress in the tent.
So it's just like my tent.
So it was. I have a single mattress.
Yep.
And so the single mattress pushed all the way against the opposite side of the door. There's like, say, a 2-foot space between the mattress and the front of the tent where like you can have your stuff.
Oh, so it's bigger than my tent.
It's bigger than your tent, but it is like, if it was, I think I could put a queen in there and it would sit flat on the floor, no problem.
Okay.
And so like that would be fine for me and Katie.
Yes.
Or like me and Logan.
Yes.
But like, I like James. Don't get me wrong. I don't like James. You
don't want to sleep while touching him.
I don't like James that much.
No, I don't blame you.
So James slept in his CRV on his inflatable mattress. You can fold all the seats flat.
Oh, he's got a better setup then. It's fine.
Yeah. So he slept in the CRV, and I slept in the tent. Well, it turns out I found out that not only is my tent smaller than advertised, I don't know where, 3 very small people, 2 is a stretch.
It's a threesome tent. Like you're literally on top of each other.
I mean, I think that'd be too. I need more space than that for a threesome for sure.
That's fair.
There's not a lot of headroom.
Yeah, but you're not. If you're sleeping, and you don't need.
Well,
that
if you're sleeping, fine. But you said something else.
Yeah, it's a
And
threesome.
there's not enough room for that kind of activity.
It's a threesome lying down tent. It's there's a threesome of missionary positions.
Somebody's being left out the whole time.
Oh, for sure. It's a disappointment. It's a threesome of disappointment.
I mean, it's gonna be that way anyway, Robbie.
There's at least one disappointed person every threesome. I'm
Like I
sure.
said before, why would I want to disappoint two girls at the same time? I'd rather just disappoint one like normal.
Yeah, or at least one separately.
Right.
Disappoint them both
I don't
separately.
need, I don't need two disappointed girls. That's the worst. I don't need that kind of pressure.
That's fair.
Anyway, so not only was my tent smaller than we were planning on, my air mattress had a slow leak in it.
Great.
It was slow enough that I didn't notice it until it would hold enough air to keep me off the ground for about an hour.
Oh,
And
so
then
you
after
woke
that,
up.
I'm sleeping on the ground at that point. But like the first night, I was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do anything about this,
Forget it.
and I'll just figure this out tomorrow." Well, I didn't have time, and I don't think there's a Walmart very close. So I just filled it back up again Friday night and
Woke up on the ground.
went back to bed. Like, what else am I going to do? And then I just threw it in the trash can.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to fix that.
Right. So I didn't. Not only was I not getting very much sleep, but the sleep I was getting was not what you would call
Terrible.
quality.
No.
So I was not on my A game for when I got called in
No.
to help Kyle, which I felt bad about because like I'm dog ass tired. I'm hot and sweaty and gross and disgusting.
And you missed all the sessions before that.
Yeah, I've been literally watching on Race Hero because I can't stream anything.
Right.
So I've just been like watching on Race Hero and hearing cars go right on by me. And that's all I get while I'm strapped up while I'm underneath cars strapping them down.
Yep.
And so like I did my best.
You did great.
I was so tired. I'm still tired. I'm always tired.
That's what I've learned about being an adult.
Constant
You're always
tired.
Yeah, you're always tired.
Try doing it with kids, Robbie.
I won't. I will not. I'll just be this amount of tired is fine.
It's the worst.
I'm okay with this amount of tired.
I love my children
But not
like
when you're-
more
when
than
you're that
anything in
tired.
the world.
Yeah.
But like
Well, when you go home tonight and deal with that, I'm gonna go to bed.
So yes, I did get to go back on the stream for a little while, just for one time attack session.
But everybody liked that.
Thankfully, a few people were able to deliver. I got to see some records set in that session, which was fun.
That's awesome.
James went faster. I think a few other people maybe here and there. But yeah, it was. Excuse me. Overall, it was a good weekend.
It sounded like fun.
It's just that dyno is a time suck. And if you want,
That's
if you
a
go,
lot of work.
Like if you go there to enjoy a weekend, that's not a good way to do it.
No, I mean you're working. You're properly working.
Josh seems to enjoy that more so than I do,
Yeah, I can see that.
so he can have it.
That's fair. Plus, you're busy now. You have headsets to wear and words to say.
To you?
No.
Did you get it set up in your car?
I mean, I can.
You should. That's what I want, Robbie.
Next year.
That's what I want. I want
year.
you and Dalton and Ryan and whoever else wants me
Dusty,
to speak to them into their ear holes
Yep.
on the track
Clayton as well.
to get those set up so that I can speak into your ear holes on the track.
I have shopped for racing radios. I have a list of things to buy.
I'm going to blow up Clayton's spot right here on this podcast, even though he doesn't know that I know this. But I am afraid he may be going to the dark side.
What?
He may have already priced out angle kits.
He did not.
E-Man
He was
E-Man-
messaging me today.
E-Man is, first of all, a real piece of shit,
Well, yeah, everyone knows that.
but also a drifter.
Yeah, exactly.
And thirdly, a real piece of shit. And so apparently he has infected Chandler Rowe, which used to be one of like Gridlife's main instructor guys.
Yep.
He has infected him with the
Drifting.
thing. And I guess Chandler and Clayton are buddies. And I think Clayton's feeling a little bit discouraged about GLTC because everyone's so
aliens.
fucking
They're all
fast.
fucking aliens.
Which isn't his fault.
It's not. He's improved as a driver.
Right. But not enough.
Because everybody else is too.
Yeah.
Like 1 million times over.
Right. And so he's looking at the drift guys going, this kind of makes a lot of sense. And like, and like, Robbie, there's more drift events closer to us than road course events.
I don't want to do it.
I'm just saying.
I don't want to do it. Tried that.
Like, I realized
wasn't my thing. I
realized that if proximity was our primary driver, we'd be driving circle track cars.
Now we're talking. You have a better chance of talking me into doing circle track things or figure eight things.
Oh yeah.
Than you do having me taking drifting as a serious path for me. I enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I like drifting. I like watching it.
Right.
I like going to the events. That is not my jam. That's not my thing.
Right.
It's just not for me.
I could see like if someone called you up and like, hey Robbie, like let's split tires and go drifting this weekend. You can use my car.
I'm all in.
Like I can see you being down for that.
Yes.
Because it is good driver development, if nothing else.
Absolutely.
And
it's fun.
Like they do it.
I won't disagree with that.
And they do it in
fun.
Cedar Rapids. It's like an hour, 20-minute drive from your front yard.
Yes.
Instead of a fucking 6-hour drive to Gingerman.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that E-Man may have been.
Well, I'll have you know that Clayton was asking me questions about other racing stuff. So I'm in.
I'm not saying.
But the problem.
I'm not saying that we've lost him.
No,
I'm saying because he could put an angle kit on his GLTC car.
And it wouldn't. You could still be a GLTC
and
car.
just pull his tune.
Yeah.
And run his drift days.
The problem was he was asking me about endurance stuff.
Yeah.
So then I talked about how like, you know, he basically asked me like, could a single driver do 3-hour stints? I'm like, yeah, my first race was like a fucking 3-hour stint.
He's like, I'm never gonna fucking ask. I'm never gonna ever talk to you guys again. These were made in confidence, and here you are just blasting it to the world.
I've done 300 episodes of podcasts. Everyone should know this by now.
It's fine. Clayton drives a bright lime green C5 Corvette in GLTC, just so everybody's aware.
He's one of the when I first started doing GLTC, he was one of the buddies that
super nice guy.
That like
one of my favorite people to see at events. I got to speak to him for all of 30 seconds at Lime Rock this year, which was really a bum deal.
Yep,
he didn't even know I was there until pretty much the end of
when
Saturday.
You're leaving.
Yeah.
No, he's on the short list of people I seek out at every event that I'm at. Because there's like him, Scott Robertson, and Brian DeFries are like and like then of course like the guys that we know like really locally.
Yeah.
But those are the guys I go out of my way because either I'm racing by them or because I like talking to them about the race stuff.
Hung out with Brian DeFries this weekend.
Like that guy. But Clayton was asking me just like questions about endurance racing. So I was telling him about how great it feels to like do a 3-hour stint, get that flag, and it's like. You know, it's like euphoric. It's like the best. It's the best feeling I can think of that isn't.
That's appropriate.
That's appropriate to talk about on a podcast about cars. Arguably even better.
Welcome to the Pornhub podcast.
The Pornhub podcast, yes. But yeah, that honestly, that just like pulling into the pits, like at WRL, like everyone just like comes over and everyone's standing on the fence as the checker flag's on. Every team, everyone's cheering everyone else. Like it's everyone's. It's like finishing a marathon. Everyone's happy at the fact that they finished.
Right.
Then, of course, you have the people that are even happier because they finished in the front.
Whereas a GLTC, like, if you can't finish a 20-minute race,
that's a
beat
problem.
It, nerd.
Yeah, that's a problem.
This isn't time attack.
So that he was asking, like, we were talking about that, and I was telling him how great it is. Like, it's the fucking best feeling, dude. Like, it's like cocaine straight to the brain, man.
So
it's
we're going
good.
to pit race is what you're telling me?
No, I can't. I'm going to be in C-Ring for that.
Oh, that's right. Good, because I don't have any more time off.
Bullet dodged.
I don't have any more time off. James, don't even fucking bother. I'm not coming to pit race.
But then I listed off, like, all of the expenses of doing 8-hour races versus 20-minute races. And I'm like, so it's a win and a loss here.
Yeah. Racing is stupid.
But it's also why I was pressing Jabe about the rules for the new enduro thing.
Racing is stupid.
But the best. The best. But you know what's not stupid, Adam? Petrobox. Yeah, getting a Petrobox in the mail once a month.
Oh.
Using the code 10/10ths
No question.
to get 15% off your first box and anything in the store.
Right.
Yeah,
So I was wearing the Petrobox T-shirt that is the helmet made out of driver names, Formula One names.
Yep.
Hamilton is on there 3 times, as pointed out to me by Dewey.
It is on there multiple times, yes.
So because neither one of us are apparently the biggest F1 fans in the world, is there more than one Hamilton, or is he just got listed more than once?
I think he's listed more than once. I'm not aware of other Hamiltons.
Okay. I know he has a brother who's not in Formula One yet.
Yeah, I don't.
Or probably will be.
Right. I don't think there's other Hamiltons that would make the list, I guess. That would probably be a better way to put it. So, yeah.
Dewey was a little upset that there were some people.
Repeats. Yeah, I understand.
That there were some repeats and then some names that he would have expected to see before repeating one.
You know what they need to do? More shirts, I guess.
I was like, I don't know what to fucking tell you, Dewey. The shirt was given to me. I was told to wear it. I'm wearing it. What do you want from me?
Yeah. You should have him buy one or get a box using the code 10tenths. He gets 15% off that box.
Boom.
It's full of car care products, shirts like this one, or that one. They're comfy.
I had 3 people ask me about this one at the Good Guys event.
The SCCA check-in ladies at Brainerd loved that shirt.
I should say this one. It's the one that says
upshift,
downshift, oh shit, and has your foot position
for each one.
Right, and then the oh shit one is
pedal or
brake and clutch.
And brake. Yep. Yeah. No, the registration ladies at Brainerd SCCA were all about that shirt.
Yeah. Apparently, this is a popular shirt for people.
Yep.
This is a design a lot of people seem to really.
She had me model it. She's had me Gladys, come look at this shirt. Have a good laugh. Here, come here.
Funny.
Hold the shirt.
I had no less than 3 people looking at and make comments about this shirt when I wore it at Good Guys.
Yep. Yes.
Like a month or 2 ago.
Yeah, that one is the extrovert shirt because everyone seems to talk to you about it.
So I had more than one person bring up my Formula One helmet shirt at Lime Rock, but that's within the circle of
friends,
things you would expect at a Gridlife event. Whereas this is, I was at a Good Guys show, but
not the same.
This shirt's probably gonna have more reaction than my Formula One helmet name shirt.
Without
at a grid or at a Good Guys event.
Yep.
So
so mypetrobox.com if you want to get your automotive culture box delivered to your house, or they have a store if you want to just pick and choose what you want. And then also obviously Apex Pro, apextrackcoach.com. Use the code oh shit, I had the wrong code for Petrobox.
Is it TTP15?
It's TTP15 for Petrobox.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure that
it's in the description. I'm sorry I screwed it up. Apex Pro is 10tenths. Petrobox is TTP15.
Yeah.
This is our own fault for not having the same codes. So, but yeah, apextrackcoach.com if you want to get your data logger and your units. Use the code 10tenths. You get 15% off at that. No, 10% off. I screwed this up so bad.
Robbie!
I'm blaming it on the beef jerky. Spicy.
Is it still hot?
No, I'm good now.
You're good now?
It's 10% off when you get the Gen 2 unit as well as the window mount. But if you want to get the Gen 1 unit, that's cheaper. They also have the OBD2 dongle, which, James, if I don't have that at Alpine, our friendship is over. And your friendship and my friendship is over if I don't get to use those at Alpine. I would be so mad. Do you have it?
No.
Does James have it?
Yes.
Okay. This is up to you. And
I texted him and I said, I texted him.
If I have to go through a GLTC weekend without Apex Pro, I will be so mad.
Just hold, please. So James, I texted James, right? I said, so apparently I left all my Apex Pro demo stuff in the back of your CRV. And his response was, sounds like I have an Apex Pro demo stuff now.
He can use one of the Gen 1s. I don't care. I
don't think he's bringing the Fit.
He can put it whatever car he wants.
He's going to bring the CRV and do some off-road stuff.
Bring the Apex Pro.
That would be actually kind of cool on that dirt track thing.
He can use it.
But just not during the GLTC races.
No, we have 3 units.
Well, you want the Gen 2, though, Robbie?
No, I need the Gen 2.
Well, you don't need it when you're not on track.
That's fair. I want the Gen 2,
Robbie?
and I want the OBD2 dongle. I want it. This is why I give things away to let people use them, and then I don't get them back.
I'm not even going to try and defend myself. I'm not even going to try and defend myself.
But if
you knew what you were getting into, Robbie.
That is fair. But if you want to be this passionate about your data logger, use the code 10/10
Yes.
at apextrackcoach.com and understand how good it is and why I'm so passionate. Adam, that's a show, I think.
Does your stomach hurt yet?
I'll be honest. I feel funny.
Yeah?
Yeah. I didn't eat a lot of it, so that helps. But I could just kind of feel...
Are you just going to throw that away now?
I don't know what I'm going to do with
your
it.
dad like that?
No.
Give some of it to Jess?
There's no way. No. I might bring it to work, honestly, because somebody will eat it.
That's fair.
Armageddon beef jerky.
Just throw it in a regular Ziploc baggie and then drop it on the counter. Because if someone sniffs that, they'll be like, oh, that doesn't smell too spicy.
That is deceivingly not spicy smelling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Rude.
It's rude is what it is. That's exactly what it is.
I don't know what I did to my dad, but I mean, I'm sure I had it coming.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, this is probably like, remember when you were sick? Yeah.
As the owner of 2 children, you totally had it
wait till
coming.
they're teenagers.
Oh, God, I don't even want
So, yeah, I probably had this coming
sure.
for a long time.
For sure.
Long time. Yeah.
I've already figured out which of my son's friends are going to be the problem when he's...
Oh, yeah, you know right away.
I already know.
Yeah.
Yep.
My condolences.
Yeah.
I'm going to be here with my dogs.
Sounds wonderful.
Actually, it's been really nice. All week, I come home from work. I bring the dogs outside. I put Yancey on the chain. Let Kyle just go because he's not going anywhere.
He's not going anywhere.
And then I just work in the shop. And Yancey just lays in the dirt. I mean, he could come inside and like...
No,
he lays
he's
in
gonna lay in the dirt.
In the sun and
Absolutely.
in the dirt. Yep, just lays there.
Absolutely.
And I was like, there's shade, and I can put mats down here.
Yeah.
No, he ignores those. He wants to lay in the dirt.
Yeah.
But then Kyle wants to go inside.
There's a low spot in my neighbor's driveway, and when it rains, the water pools there, and that's where my dog goes and lays.
Oh, nice.
She hates water.
But she'll lay...
But she lays in puddles.
Oh, great.
Because she's dumb. Because dogs are stupid.
Yep. Yancey doesn't do that. He just likes
They're
to get
the smartest,
dirt.
stupid animals on the planet.
Yep.
Next to humans.
Humans are the stupidest.
We're definitely the smartest dumb things.
Oh,
we're the dumbest
for
smart things.
sure.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
But dogs are a close second. And cats are a close third, frankly.
Yeah, really. That's a good way to end the show. I think next week we're going to try to do a show or not. I'm going to Alpine. If we can do it early in the week, I'll try.
Shit. So I turned in my time off wrong.
I know you did.
I had to turn it in for the week following. And my boss is like, sorry, dude, but I got shit scheduled and there's no way. And I was like, yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, you did me a solid
for Lime
on
Rock.
Lime Rock, and frankly, he's done me a solid on more than one event in the past. So I might fly there because James said that he would come and pick me up from the Denver airport, and a flight's like $120, and I don't.
That's awesome.
And I don't need a return flight because I'll just ride home with you.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, because I'm just coming back Sunday.
Right.
I don't know if I'll stick around for the fundraiser or not.
Right. So
I'm working Monday. So
right, and so I might. But we had discovered that 3 days ago, and I still haven't bought a ticket because I'm me.
Classic Adam.
And so if the tickets have gotten up by the time I remember to do something about it, I will not be at Alpine.
Okay. So you're going to make me drive all the way there and all the way back by myself?
You say that like that's not what you want, Robbie.
14 hours in the car by myself.
That's quality podcast time.
I'm almost caught up on all my podcasts. And I even added new podcasts.
I can recommend you a library app that you can get audiobooks.
I want that.
I can recommend you one.
I want that. All right. So I'm going to catch up on track walking. I'm going to catch up on slip angle. That's the one. And then lizard brains. I'm going to catch up on those. Everything else I'm caught up on, I think. Even the Porno podcast.
That's because she hasn't released one.
I know it forever.
It's like forever.
Get with it, Asa Akira. We'll catch everybody next week.